What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real in real or whatever. Period.
Wait, hold on.
Yes,
Hold on.
exactly.
What do we do?
We put the real in trill, bitch.
Okay.
I know that.
Period.
Thank you.
Period.
I'm your host, Pharaoh. We're joined by our wonderful co-host, Lee, and the wonderful, wonderful Amal. Amal, how are you doing? How you feeling?
It's just a beautiful day to be Amal. That's
Period.
where I'm.
And that's enough.
I know that's right.
Actually,
I know that's right. A beautiful day to be me. Period. Oh.
Period. All right, y'all. We've had a whole full week of Big Brother Canada. Nobody's talking about it but us. So let's get into it.
Well, us and 3 other people.
We are part of the 10 people who are talking about this season. So let's get into it. Let's let the girls know what's tea or whatever.
Period. I was just going to jump off by saying, just like, not to be all over the place, I think the biggest shock for me overall from this first week is people not assuming that Anthony and Victoria are obviously working together. They have a huge commonality in the fact that they're both returnees this season. Right. Okay? Like, do you genuinely think that they're going to come into this game and not have each other's back? The fact that the house is even split boy versus girl is crazy, because you should assume anything you tell Anthony is going to Victoria and vice versa. That's exactly what's happening. And every season where returnees has come into together, even in BB Can 5, they work together. It may break up later down the line, but they start off working together. So it's so crazy that people are moving as if they aren't. And I think that is what ended up fucking up Janine a little bit. A lot of Janine's plans this week were with Victoria. And all of that went straight back to Anthony. And it's like, girl, you didn't think it would? Come on now.
She wouldn't think it, child. Amal, what do you think of that?
I think everybody knows exactly what's going on, and they're operating in a state of fear. Just because it's like, because you're cut off from the outside world, it's like, it's almost like, do you remember when you're in school and it's like the popular kid in class doesn't like that one person, and even if you like them, you don't hang out with them because you don't want to be the odd one out? That's what it's giving.
I see that, actually. I kind of feel like it's a fear thing, like you said, and it's also kind of just like I think when you get in the house and there's so much stuff going on and there's a lot of new rules and the producers are talking to you and you're playing the game and you got to find the right people who you can work with and people are lying to you on top of that. It's like, it's a lot going on already. And then you have to think about the fact that these two people might be working together. They might not. And it's like, girl, they just are. And I think what happens is people go in the game and they think things are more complex than they are. Shit is simple. They both played. They're working together. A, B, C, period. And people just want, I guess they hope or they think or something that it's not, but it's like, no, girl, they're just working together and they're working very much so in tandem. And my thing is, if they weren't working together, wouldn't they be working against each other a little bit? Like, I'm just thinking, if you're going to assume they're not together and that's the only other person who's played the game before, wouldn't that person be targeting them? Not one lick has been about Spicy V targeting Anthony or Anthony targeting Spicy V. So why the fuck wouldn't they be working together? They think.
Very unfortunate. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in. So do you guys remember season 5 when they brought the returnees? Yeah. So last year I got the opportunity to meet some people, and when I met Dre, I loved her in real life. We loved her, like, hilarious. And I asked her, like, how did it feel to like get this opportunity and have a bunch of people like walk in? And I think she said something along the lines of like, I knew my game was over as soon as those people came in. And when you guys were talking, my mind went there immediately. It's like almost like your brain just gives up because you're like, oh shit, like, let's just see how long I can last, right? It was more people then, but I feel like maybe they're operating under that same mindset.
That's very true.
I think it immediately goes into, they know the game better. Let me just kind of navigate through them and see what happens. That's why every time returnees play, BB BB Canada, they make it to the end. Like, at least one is sitting in that final 2. I don't think that one time a person has come back and did not, maybe like Jesse, BB 11.
Yeah, it actually is.
Usually the returnee goes to final 2.
Somebody posted a tweet with those stats, and they said Jesse was the only one. But that barely even counts, honestly. But
yeah,
and it barely counts because he got out with a coup d'etat, which is not even like a normal twist. It happened twice in Big Brother U.S. history. H asks, who do y'all think outside of Anthony and or Victoria is playing the best game so far? We are going to rate all the players later on, so stick around to hear all our thoughts. But just off the dome, I can't even give it off the dome now and think about it. Everybody doing stupid shit. No shame.
Definitely Spicy and Victoria are sitting at the top of this house. I would say after that, based off of social connections, I would say potentially an Avery.
And she's nominated.
Yeah.
So
she's nominated.
Is she?
Kayla, maybe.
This is a hard question. I'm interested because I don't know what I'm going to rate the players when we get there. So I guess we'll all find out together when we get there. But Amal, you got any thoughts on that?
Nope, I'm with you guys. Honestly, I just feel like from the last episode that I watched, it was the Anthony and Victoria show. I didn't even get a chance to get to know other people. So it's almost hard to say who's doing what when it's like I don't even have access to make those decisions.
Exactly.
That's team.
All right. We can get into the week. We did watch the Digital Dailies, so we can give y'all all the tea from there, all the information from there. But we stopped off at the premiere at the team's twist. So everybody was playing the competition. They were deciding in what order they were going to pick to be in what team. And if you're a visual learner, I actually have the teams. I'm going to put them on the screen for us so we can all know who's in the house because, baby, I'll be forgetting. Thank you. Okay. Boom. So by the end of it, we do know that Lexus won the competition because and she was safe for the week. So she was going to get safety. The rules were after you win, you can choose or whatever. Y'all are going to all choose whose team you're going to be on. And those two people, Anthony and Victoria, are going to play HOH. The winner of HOH, that team is safe. The entire team is safe for the week. And then Spicy V or Anthony are still going to be safe for the week as well. So what happened was these were the teams. Anthony's teams ended up being Lexus, Donna, Bayleigh, Dinis, Vivek, and Elijah. And Victoria's team ended up being Todd, Tola, Matthew, Kayla, Avery, and Janine.
You mean entourage.
Entourage, my bad. Because it is an entourage, apparently.
Regardless of what it is, it bet not continue into week 2 because I can't do it.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie, y'all. I am a Anthony Douglas, a Dougie-licious stan. Okay. I am very much so rooting for Anthony in a lot of ways. And this team twist does help him, in my opinion.
Right.
So go ahead and let it last 2 more weeks. Thank you.
Right. Because the people that's looking at Anthony the most right now is potentially a Bayleigh, definitely a Vivek. And if they were to win next week and they still have this entourage twist, they literally cannot target Anthony. Which is, I feel like, a reason why production would keep the twist because it protects the returnees easier. I just don't like team twist. So I'm hoping it ends because it makes gameplay stagnant. Like if Bayleigh or Vivek win, they have so many limited options. So it's just like I want them to have everyone available.
I agree. So after this, they went to the HOH competition. Anthony and Victoria went to play, and this was an interesting comp because it was kind of like everyone had to make guesses about the other players, kind of how they were in the house, how they were perceived. They were like, who was the most annoying? And then you have to vote. But they kind of messed up the game because you didn't even get to see who everybody voted. It was all private. Bitch, you should have put that out in the air. I feel like if they would have just had it public, it would have been way more dramatic. There would have been more talking about it. But the only public votes were Victoria and Anthony, and they were just trying to win the game. So it didn't really go anywhere. So love the concept. Execute it better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Agreed.
But Anthony ended up winning. Congratulations. Now, I want to ask, because Amal, we saw right before the comp, Victoria say, Anthony, throw it to me. We need to take out a boy. He said, I ain't doing that. What do you think of that?
I think that she absolutely lost the plot to think that somebody that barely won any competitions in his own league is not going to break his back just to win one, right? Like, I think that was a huge win for him. And I'm actually glad that he won because that should be a huge indicator to her that homeboy is not here for us. He's here for him.
Yes, and that's literally the biggest thing, takeaway that I got from it as well. I really hope Victoria is recognizing Anthony is playing for himself at the end of the day. You know, he's a very, very smart player, and he's not going to throw away his game for someone else. I don't see Anthony playing like that. He's told Victoria he will, but I just don't see that happening. And I feel like if he were to ever throw out a plan and she were to do that exact same thing, it will be an issue. So I hope that she really does take a note of that, because I feel like throughout this week, by the end of it, I feel like Victoria is in a slightly better position than Anthony overall. So it's like, if she continues to kind of not necessarily play for him, but eventually like, well, this ally can go because it's an issue to Anthony, or, you know, she starts messing up her own structure, that's going to be a problem down the line. So I just hope that she's not willing to just throw away her game for this duo with Anthony, because that's not going to be good for her.
I agree. And from watching Big Brother Canada 9 with Victoria, I feel like, I don't know if I'm assessing her gameplay wrong. She wasn't the most loyal person seemingly, but from what I watched and how I interpreted that season, when it came to Ty and Jed, it seemed like Victoria really, really wanted to work with Ty and Jed. And a lot of her moves were against people who she wanted to take out to get closer to them. When she took out LaToya, it was to get closer to them. When she won invisible HOH, no one knew she was HOH. Instead of taking out any one of Ty and Jed's people, she was like, you know what, I'm going to take out the person going for them the most, Austin. And it's like, I feel like Victoria is loyal, but her first season, no one wanted to work with her genuinely. And now that she has someone like Anthony who is saying he's going to work with her, who they came in together, I think Victoria might be loyal to a fault to Anthony the way she was to Ty and Jed, and they didn't even like her like that. Like, she was loyal to Ty and Jed for no reason. She wasn't in the alliance with them. She just really, really wanted to be, and they kept placating her, and then they took her ass out. And it's like, girl, you was taking out LaToya. You should have been taking out Ty. And I just can see in this season, maybe her realizing, ooh, Anthony might have Matthew, and her taking out Matthew, but I don't see her taking out Anthony or actually doing anything about Anthony himself. And that's what worries me. But she's very different than what she was the first time. So we'll have to see.
And I feel like I've recognized that as well. I feel like a few people on Twitter have as well. It's hard to ignore the BB Can non-spicy V, the type of gameplay she had. It was very out there. And so she's a lot more reserved. I think a lot of us are like, okay, when is real Spicy V gonna jump out? And I do feel like you kind of said, like, she was in a way turned away from working with Jed, LaToya, and what's his name? Tyshawn. And when that happened, she kind of was a lone wolf, and she acted as so. It was gay very much. I'm gonna just do what I want. And with this time, she come in, she has a structure, she has allegiances who all trust her a lot. So I just hope she doesn't ruin it. Like, I don't even think she has to take Anthony out. I think if you were to end the game right now, everyone vote, Victoria beats Anthony. 100%. So if she's able to get to the end next to him, I think she can still win. It's just, is he going to be able to convince her to fuck up her own structure? Because, like, for example, this girls' alliance that gets formed this week, you know, who ratted out Victoria. And it's like, you can argue that's also good for her game, especially, you know, she's trying to start off this alliance with Anthony. She doesn't want any of the other girls to say it before she says it. That can cause a lot of issues. But it's like, that feels like an example of her later down the line, potentially sharing something that's good for her individually, but wanting Anthony to also be set up well, which is not going to be good for her, because Anthony's always going to want to do what he wants to do. And I feel like throughout this week, we got that a lot. Like, it gave very much, oh, this is what's great for us, or really is what's good for Anthony. So I just hope that she's able to decipher what is specifically good for her, because not everything in this game is going to be good for the both of them.
I agree. Yeah, everything you guys said is perfect. The only thing I would add is that I think where she might lose herself is that I am also a loyal person. So when I'm loyal to somebody else, I'll give you an analogy. It's like the chick that rides out for the person when they have a problem is the one that gets in trouble at the end, right? I feel like I just don't want her to get caught up in that situation. Like, if she continues to work with Anthony, like, that's fine. But if he gets into like an issue and she rides out for him too hard, he would be the type to be like, yep, it was all her. I had nothing to do with it.
Right. Yeah. I was kind of thinking that too. And even on top of that, when it comes to kind of a respect thing, yes, people want a girl to win really bad, but even last season with Claudia, a lot of the girls wanted a girl to win, and then they were like, I just respect Ty more. And if Victoria plays her game for Anthony, even if she gets to the end, if I'm in the jury, no matter if I'm a girl or a guy, and I know that Victoria just did everything Anthony wanted, she ratted out the girls' alliance. I found out about it. She ratted out all the other black girls so that Anthony can make it to the end, and I found out about it. When I'm in the jury and I'm a black girl and she ratted me out for Anthony, I'm gonna be like, I mean, give Anthony the win. Like, yes, I was riding for the girls. Yes, I was riding for the women, but after I found out that everything you did was to help Anthony, I gotta respect it. I gotta put respect on his name and give him the win. So she has a lot going for her, but if she continues to play that in a way that benefits Anthony more to her, the jury might not even care. Like, he ate that up. And
no, you're right. Honestly, because I didn't even think about it like that. Like last year, Claudia wanted the man and the money. You know what I mean? But you can't have both. And a lot of the girls felt betrayed. And Victoria made a huge mistake by outing everybody in that first week. That is enough for me to be like, no, I'm not voting for her. She snatched.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because technically, if I was a girl and I wanted to vote a girl to win, and I found out Victoria ratted out the girls' alliance week 1, I'm gonna be like, okay, I want a girl to win, but not Victoria because she ratted us out and didn't give a fuck. So I don't care that Victoria is a girl next to Anthony. He outplayed her. She snitched on us to him. I'm gonna give her the money. Same thing with Ty and Claudia. Like, sure, we all girly pops, but you took out the girly pops for Ty.
Yeah.
So if she takes them girls for Anthony, the way she talks in the diary room, she's like, I'm riding with the girls, but Anthony my number 1, and I'm with the girls, but Anthony my number 1. And it's like you get to Final Four, and it's 3 other girls, and you win veto and evict the girl and stand at Anthony, and then win HOH and nom the girls and stand at Anthony, and then win the last HOH and take Anthony to Final 3. Who am I going to vote?
No, you're right. Like, I wouldn't. No.
So
it's like last year kind of felt like, who do we like dislike less? You know, like who we're gonna vote for, who we dislike less, and I don't want it to be that type of situation.
I will say though, with Anthony winning HOH this week, I do feel like, I don't know, it wasn't the best thing for his type of gameplay, because I feel like what we always see with Anthony, he is a very reserved, kind of under the radar player. He likes to do his work from behind the scenes. So I feel like him being put in the forefront, people are really looking at him some type of way this week. Like a few people this week are leaving not feeling Anthony. And if, like I said, Spicy's able to just leverage that to her benefit moving forward, she will remain in a good position. But it's just like, will Victoria be able to do that? We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you hit it, because on his first season, Anthony didn't win an HOH ever. And I feel like Anthony's the type of player who benefits very well from that. It's hard to pinpoint another player like that, but we saw it with Kevin Jacobs. We saw it with Dr. Will a long time ago. When they don't win those HOHs, they're capable of being manipulative and sneaky without showing their cards. Anthony plays in a way to where you can't show your cards, because right now, Bayleigh is looking at him sideways, and Bayleigh is someone who would have never looked at Anthony sideways if he didn't have to nominate 2 women. If that never happened, Bayleigh would be up under Anthony still to this day. And it's like, some people play in a way where winning comps isn't the best thing to do. And it's like, Anthony's one of those people. And Ty from last season is somebody who just needs to win the comps. Congratulations, win those comps. Anthony, you don't need to. And I feel like in a way it hit his ego that he didn't win a lot of comps, because the way he speaks about it this season, it's like, ooh. And not just that, but a lot of things, you could tell that Anthony, he's here to prove himself. Like, I'm not just a second place loser who lost the day and didn't win no comps. I'm Anthony. I can win an HOH. I'm still that girl. You don't got to tell me how to play, Vivek. And it's like, okay, we not that girl. You don't got to do all of that now.
Because I feel like the specific conversation, I was just like, Anthony, hold on, baby. When he was talking to Bayleigh basically about his nominations, about putting up 2 girls, and she was basically kind of confused, because it's like, okay, I thought you were with the women, and now all of this is happening. Like, are you really with me? Like, in that conversation, it just gave like, oh my God, like, this is not how you handle someone. Like, it to me, the energy just gave very much like, I mean, I'm the HOH, so of course any information that is being said, it should come back to me. Like she walks in the room and he immediately is like, "Oh, I saw you talking on the spy camera to Vivek. What was that about? You weren't even going to tell me about that conversation if I didn't bring you up here." It's just like, so you're letting her know you're spying on her, and now you're basically pressing her for information. And after that conversation, the rest of this week, Bayleigh has went around trashing Anthony. So it's just like, I hope that isn't a consistent with him if he is able to win more competitions. Like, you have to, talk to some people in an okay manner. Like, you can't talk to people like you're the... Like, I think Anthony knows he's running the game. But you can't talk to people like you're running the game. Because it's like, now I feel slighted. Now I feel like you're being condescending. Like, I didn't know. I was just like, this did not give returnee in that conversation.
Yep. No, I agree. It's Anthony's world, and they're all just living in it.
Yeah. He's a little too much aware of that. I think he needs to pretend he don't really know that, because it makes him, I feel like, move around in that way. Like, I run this shit. And it's like, you do, but they don't need to know that.
It's becoming very apparent. Like, a lot of people are aware of it in the way he basically speaks to people. Like, it's so obvious.
But what I will say is, this week, a lot of times in Big Brother, it's just a weekly thing. And next week, everyone can be thinking something different. And because he's HOH, he's so in the forefront, and then the energy he has. But I will say, before he was HOH, because it was a few digital dailies we got, I want to say like 2 or 3 before he was HOH, that entire time, everyone was loving him. So I'm wondering, as soon as he's not HOH again, is it just going to go back to, he's so sweet, and oh my God, I just love him? Because we don't get to see a lot of his social game because we don't have the live feeds. But apparently it's really good, because a lot of the people say how sweet he is and how nice, and he's just so kind, and he actually loves the girls, and he wants to work with the girls instead of the boys. The girls are thinking he wants to work with the girls instead of the boys. Who said that? Girl.
Right, and that's why I was so confused. They were shocked that he put up Janine and Avery, because it's like, did y'all really think he was gonna put up a boy? Like,
and they really did, and they did, which is crazy. That's how you know.
Like, this man literally is part of the most successful all-male alliance of all time.
And y'all didn't think nothing of that. And I feel like once he's not HOH, it could easily just go back to
exactly. That. He could level it out. You're right. It's the first week.
Yeah, everyone loving him for sure.
Yeah, like his social comp and what he was doing before it worked, but he can't win every competition and also frazzle them verbally. Like, it has to be one or the other. Otherwise, it's too much.
Yeah, 100%.
And I do think he could end up getting caught up. So that's going to be, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I don't think that after watching this first week, I feel like it's not going to be such an easy ride to the end. But it just depends, because
it quickly could be. If the next HOH goes his way, boom, it's over for me. Like, not over for me, but it's like, it's going to be easy ride. This is a smaller cast. First evictee is what Anthony wanted. If the next evictee is Vivek, baby, they got it. My man got it. I'm so excited. Like, all right. But let's get into some of the stuff that happened this week, because very early on, Amal, we saw the boys and the girls kind of go their separate ways. Boys alliance started forming over here. Girls alliance started forming over there. Was it like that in those first days on your season? Because this happened day one, seemed like literally immediately. The boys was over here, the girls over here. Nobody even talked. Like, that was it.
No, it wasn't like that at all. I feel like it was super mixed. Like, it wasn't girls versus boys. So that's really interesting to see. Honestly, I mean, I don't think the girls' alliance is gonna last, because we already got homegirl snitching to Anthony, telling him everything. But I'm rooting for them.
I think because all 7 of them, I'm not gonna lie, Janine going home first. But I do think the 4 Black girls can ride it out all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And I really do like that. And they were trying to see that. We saw with the Girls Alliance, firstly, Janine a little bit started going her rounds, make sure everybody was locked in. And everyone was really locked in with it. All the girls felt down for it. And then they started to try to form subgroups, because they basically knew all 7 of us not going to make it. So Janine specifically was like, we need to find a 4. We need to find a 4. And that's when Avery was getting involved, Spicy V was getting involved, Bayleigh, and they had a 4 kind of there. And then eventually, towards the end of the week, now that Janine was nominated, etc., it became the black girls, Lexus, Avery, Kayla, and Victoria. They all are really the 4 girls who are locked in for real, and they're going to take it to the end. And it's like, period, first of all.
I love that. If Zendaya or Big Lex win, I'm in there. I am gonna be so excited. Like the day Tamar won, like that was the best day of my life, and it's only been uphill since. Give us more. Give us more.
Literally. That would be so iconic if they could all make it to the end like that. They also want to go with Anthony, which, I mean, he gonna have to go
Charlie
sooner rather than later. Because if it's gonna file all 4 of them and Anthony, child, I don't know. Maybe they can blockade him out of it. But yeah, that would be a cute end game.
Yeah.
But I feel like this was definitely what started messing up Janine, because
yes,
I feel like a lot of times in these digital dailies we saw it would be like Janine conversation after conversation with a different girl. Like, okay, are we all down with this? Like, is this good? Is this gonna be? So it kind of like, I think she just kind of got seen as the leader of the girls group because she was the most active person. And then we found out from Anthony that she not even talking to him. So this entire time she's been walking around, running around, checking in with girls, and has had no conversation with the entire HOH. So it's like, well, girl, that doesn't work out. Especially because she literally had a conversation with the 4. She was like, what if us 4? It was her, Bayleigh, I think Avery and Spicy. They're like, what if we bring Anthony to 5? And Bayleigh had to be like, girl, no, we're not bringing Anthony that damn far. It's like, girl, you trying to bring up plans with Anthony. And
you ain't even talked to him.
You want to put your ass up.
And this is my theory on Janine, but not just Janine. A lot of early boots, I feel, either the first boot or just early boots. I think you have to find the pace that the game is going in on these first couple of weeks. Some games go very fast, and if you're not keeping up, you're gonna get left behind. Some games go very slow. Some games go medium. I feel like, not that this game is going slow, I think it's more of a medium style, but no one else was pushing an alliance or pushing that we all need to work together. What happened was Janine pushed to every girl that the girls should work together. Of course, they agreed, but she's doing a lot of the legwork. And then she said, okay, every girl needs a boy. I just made an alliance with Dinis and Tola. Then she went and made the alliance with Dinis and Tola that we're all the older people. We're going to make an alliance because we're older. And then she said, we need a 4 within the girls. It should be me, Spicy B, maybe Bayleigh, Avery. And then she made the 4 with all the girls. And it's like, even though what she's doing is good, like you should make alliances, it's in a different pace than what everybody else is working at. All of this, and the returnee Anthony doesn't even have one alliance yet because he's taking it slower. So since we're at a slower pace, he's the HOH, he's the returnee. Victoria's going a little slower as well. You need to match their energy. They're not making 10 alliances, 3 here, 2 here, and 4 here. Now, by default, she seems like the person who started the whole girls alliance, which she didn't get them all in the room and say, let's work together. She individually spoke to them, but it's like, now you're all in the forefront because you didn't go at the right pace. You need to slow down, Pookie.
Yep, she does. You know what she reminds me of? Not to compare, but she reminds me of Vanessa from last year, but with a full head of hair. And one thing that Vanessa did that I really liked was, as soon as people walked into the house, homegirl went to the kitchen. She started microwaving stuff, opening the fridge, doing her mom stuff. And I kind of feel like that worked for her in a sense where that managed, like, she wasn't talking game all the time. She was thinking of, taking care of everybody. And I feel like Janine should have done that. She probably came in and was like, I might be a mom, but I'm a cool mom. And like, no, back it up, bro.
I will say I did not expect Janine to be this active. I know she said in her preseason thing that she wanted to win the first HOH and make an 8-person alliance, but people usually just says things in their preseason sometimes that do not translate in the game. But I feel like that's kind of the mode she was on. She was like, I want to start this girls group and I want us to be solidified in it. But she definitely just she was not checking up on, I feel like, every piece of the game in this first week. And the main thing would have been socializing with an entire other side of the game. And that's kind of the issue on both the sides with some of the boys as well. I feel like at least with the girls, they're solidified in some group. And then we have the subgroup with Bayleigh and Donna and Janine. And then the black girls kind of have their thing. The guys, I feel like there's like no type of unity over there yet. Like,
yeah.
I'm actually shocked that Anthony has the first HOH so far. Even by today's Digital Daily, there is no solidified group. There is no, we are in an alliance, we all have this agreement, and we're going to take it to the end at all. And even with the guys, like specifically with Anthony, he has a great duo with Matthew. Matthew basically professed his entire loyalty to Anthony. He wants to be a pretty boy so motherfucking bad. It's not even funny. And same with Tola. I think Tola and Matthew are both very, very loyal to Anthony. But then you have someone like Todd, who's just in the clouds. No one is trusting him that much because they think that he will spill all their tea for no reason. Dinis is not included as well. They feel like he's a little shifty. No one is talking about Elijah, who they call Goose. No one is talking about him at all. And then Vivek. Anthony and Vivek got the biggest beef in Big Brother Canada history right now, okay? Yeah. They don't like each other at all, and they're basically both walking around low-key trashing each other. So there is no guys thing, at all. But there also still is some sort of understanding slightly that it is boys versus girls. So it's just like, it's kind of all over the place in the sense that, like, I'm curious to see how Anthony plans to kind of puppet master and orchestrate when there are so many different factions happening that he may not have control over. Like Victoria, every girl in this game trusts Victoria, listens to Victoria, tells Victoria information. Anthony does not have that trust with all those men at all.
And I will say, like, because at first Anthony was going towards this guy's thing, and he was kind of gaining a coalition over there, and then he kind of started saying things like, I don't know if I can run Vivek, basically. He's basically looking for people he can have control over. And I feel like he quickly found out he couldn't really have that much control over Vivek. And in a way, he kind of pivoted towards, okay, maybe I would prefer working with the girls, Avery and Kayla, because he feels like he can have more control over them. And he's kind of looking for people who he can have control over. And that's kind of what he did his first season, even if they weren't. And what's interesting is, like you said, Lee, he does have Matthew wanting to be his son, wanting to be Adam Jr. over here. And then he kind of has his girls over here. But what's interesting about his first season is he had Kaylin over here and Eddie, and then he had Corey randomly, and then he randomly had the pretty boys, and then he randomly had Kira. It's like, he doesn't need people to be in the same. He can just have a random hold on a random person and it worked. I've never seen someone have a hold on someone so randomly who has no alliance, no allegiance except him, and it worked. I haven't seen that in Big Brother history, where it's just, oh, this one person who isn't in any alliances, they win HOH, and Anthony can control it randomly. Like, he was really good at that last season, the last time he played. So I'm wondering if, even if Matthew, or like Tola is the perfect example. Right. Tola is like Corey, in the sense that I don't think anyone's going to bring them into an alliance. I don't think anyone's going to have them in a group. But also, I don't think they're going to care. They're just going to go the whole game without caring about being in an alliance, just assuming, oh, well, I'm with Anthony and so-and-so. And as soon as Tola wins HOH, the only person Tola is going to listen to is Anthony. And then he can run his HOH and move along. And that's how he gets far. That's how Anthony makes it. But now,
I also note that in BB Can 7, it was a lot of, like, what the pretty boys did, specifically Adam, Anthony, and Dane, they kind of divide and conquered the girls in the house, which helped them a lot as well. And then they were also winning almost every competition. Like, if you go through the Wikipedia page, it's almost always a pretty boy as an HOH. Like, the only other time was like the Corey one that Anthony run, or the Sam one that Adam had influence in. So it's like, there wasn't a lot of times for the pretty boys not to have that. And my thing, I'm looking at it, he doesn't have a pretty boy group. Matthew isn't convincing anyone of anything. Neither is Tola. And then these girls, I think these girls are more loyal to each other than Anthony at the end of the day. And I also don't think it's going to be a situation where Anthony is going to convince Kayla to do something that she doesn't want to do, or he can get Matthew or Tola to go do this with Bayleigh and Donna. Because, for example, like Todd and Vivek, they have a relationship with Donna and Bayleigh. And with him not having any control over Todd and Anthony, who knows what he can do with Donna and Bayleigh on the sidelines and things like that. So I just feel like the control that the Pretty Boys group had over BB Can 7, he does not have here, because he doesn't have any allies that are kind of on that type of time. And I think that is where I'm like interested to see where this is going to go, because it's a completely different layout than BB Can 7. Like,
and to compare them to like the Pretty Boy situation, since we brought it up, Anthony and Dane are both leaders, right? But they led in different ways. Anthony kind of played bad cop, Dane played the good cop, and it worked. But Vivek and Anthony are both trying to be the bad cop. And what Vivek doesn't realize is, I think he was the big fish in the Maritimes. I don't know what particular province he's from, but now that he's in Toronto, he needs to clock in that this is a Toronto man. You don't have, you can't bring it to him like that. You know what I mean? You gotta work alongside him and not step on his toes. Otherwise, it's not gonna work.
I hate the Vivek and Anthony beef. It's so nasty. It's so nasty because I do love Vivek and I love Anthony. I wanted them to work together. Like, if they had a Pretty Boys thing going on, I would have stayed a little bit. But yeah, I know.
Child. Yeah. So at the beginning, they were kind of okay. The boys were kind of forming. The girls were kind of forming. And then Spicy V told Anthony about the Girls Alliance. She wanted to get ahead of the game. She heard some of the girls starting to like Anthony. Donna really liked him. And Donna was like, I mean, should we tell them or what should we do? And she was like, no, we shouldn't tell them. And then we saw that on the episode. And then we saw in her diary room her say, I would rather tell Anthony before any other person does, so I don't mess that relationship up. And then she let him know. I like the understanding that she had about that. Like, I like the thought process. I don't know. I'm scared. But I do like the thought process, I guess. She said no one else needs to tell him. I need to tell him. I'm going to tell him.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it for the same reason I said in the beginning. There's no way any person in this house should have assumed that they were not working together. So I think people are like, oh, this kind of ruined the Girls Alliance. Why did any of the girls actually think that was a real alliance? And I will say, not the black girls, because
not Lexus, Avery, not Kayla, not Avery.
And Kayla, this was outside of them kind of even starting this group. I feel like separately approached Victoria and Anthony in a way that was like, well, I'm loyal to both of y'all, so let's do this kind of like black thing. And it's like, that's how you should see it, because they are a package deal. I think Matt kind of sees it a little bit as well, but he's not, I don't think, as game savvy to kind of like really approach Anthony about it. But it's like, it's very obvious. I think she was really, quotations, ruining anything. It was always never going to be a thing with her coming in with a male returnee. And I think that's kind of the issue a lot of time with the Girls Alliance is they sort of, everyone in the alliance is mainly because they are a girl. So in this case, it was literally every girl in the house. There's no way every single girl in this game is going to be loyal to this group. And I feel like that almost always happens when it's a girl alliance. Like, whether it's 5 people, a little bit more, or if it's less, it's like they're all in it because they have the same shared experience of being a girl. But other than that, there's nothing else. And then that's when you start having the, Donna and Bayleigh talking about it's Lexus talking to the guys and working with the guys. I don't know. That's suspicious. And just things like that start to come up because they don't actually have that loyalty with each other. There's no loyalty at all. They're just all women. So I just feel like that is why we keep seeing these Girls Alliances fail, because there really is no real merit behind them. Like, one of the strongest Girls Alliance I can remember and Big Brother would be, what was it? Big Brother Over the Top, the Ball Smashers.
Yeah.
And even then, Whitney still turned on them, but that 3, the sisters and Shelby, they actually liked each other. And 2 of them were related, which is probably another reason why that worked so well. But it's just like, it's very rare that they're all going to come together based on being the same gender, and it actually works out. I think women and male alliances, no male alliances really form on the basis of them being male, though. It's usually based off of like, we're all just cool.
Which is why we noticed here in this season, when the Boys Alliance was forming and it was going to be a thing, Dinis was not in it and Elijah was not in it, because it wasn't a Boys Alliance, it was a Bros Alliance.
Right.
They're all similar in the fact that they're bros. That's what happened with what was that alliance called? Anthony and them, the Pretty Boys. And then that's kind of similar to what happened with the Brigade and Big Brother US. We're not just boys, we're all bros, and we the homies, and we cool. And they don't never include the gay guy, and they're not going to include the nerdy guy. Because it's not just that we're all boys, like Lee said, it's that we're all similar. I think boys are just more likely to be similar, which is why Boys Alliance work out more. There's a lot more.
I think it also goes into the just complexity of male relationships versus women relationships. I think male relationships, like a friendship between 2 men, especially if they're straight, there's usually not much there at all. They talk about bitches and basketball. That's it. Okay, football maybe. Like women, there's way much more to being in a relationship with a woman. I feel like as a gay man, I'm able to experience that a lot. And I think gay male relationships a little bit more complex. Like there's just more to it. Men, it's like, girl, we men. And we go straight. Yeah,
this is how men become friends. One guy's eating the Baconator. Oh, you like Baconator? So do I. Best friends for life.
And that's it. That's it.
And really,
don't know shit about each other. Like, they besties.
Sometimes it's even just like masculine energy and feminine energy. Because I know me, I have some feminine energy. So a lot of times I want some depth in my relationships. I feel like a lot of gay people, they do prefer a more personal relationship where it's more than just ABC as conversations. And then I have a lot of guy friends, they don't give a fuck about that. You know, or even sometimes I know girls who have just a more masculine energy. Maybe they were raised by men and not women or whatever. And they kind of don't care about all that depth. They're just here to just have a good chat and move along. So I feel like the energy is just very different. And I think you're right. That's what plays into it, truly. And then a lot of the girls you see this season, they're like, when they get suspicious of other girls, it's for like, oh, they're talking to them. And I think girls just think a little bit more about the connections they build, even the alliances they build. They're thinking more about it. Boys don't care sometimes.
Yeah, they really don't. They just care about what they're gonna eat. If somebody leaves and like they share a bed with them, even better. Then they can spread out like a starfish. Like that's their thought process.
So mainly Anthony was getting close to Matthew and a little bit Tola. Those were the main two people he got close to. He had one-on-one conversations with both of them, told them a lot of information, and then he was kind of pulling in on Vivek and Todd, and then he realized Vivek kind of is pulling Todd in a different direction. And this was like at the beginning of the week, and we're gonna put a pin in this because later in the week it gets even more intense. After Spicy V snitches out the alliances to Anthony, she also says Janine is one of the bigger problems. Anthony's like, I knew Janine might be a problem because she's doing a lot. Already, so I'm scared.
Where I was like, Spicy, that's scary because Janine just recently, before that conversation, was like, oh, I'm gonna do a 4 and I want you as our 4th. Like she was literally included in that 4-person subgroup of the Women's Alliance. So I just feel like, damn, is that really relevant information that he needed to know? Like,
right.
Girl, you could have.
And the girls were trying to tell, the girls and Spicy had talked about Tola being one of the biggest problems. He needs to kind of be the target this week. If you can kind of steer it towards that way, we would love that. Because remember, the only people who Anthony can nom is Victoria's team. So he has 6 options, and one of them is Tola. So they were telling Victoria to try to push that, and she didn't really push that. She said, one of the people I'm scared of is Tola. One of the people I'm scared of is Janine. And then she told him that Janine is after your ass, and Janine made this girl's alliance. And it's like, that was enough for him to take that and target her. And really, the only thing she did to cover her ass was she kind of was influencing, or she was encouraging the fact that another girl should be a pawn. So that way she wouldn't have to vote out a girl next to a boy and expose her card. Right. So now it's just 2 girls. Oh, I don't have a choice. I have to vote Janine. It's 2 girls on the block. And that was kind of the only thing she did to save herself, which I do like. But it's like, girl, you could have maybe pushed Tola a little more. I don't know. So that's what Anthony does. He's going to nominate Janine. Janine's his target, and he's going to need a pawn. So he goes to Avery about being a pawn, and Avery damn near jumps out her seat, excited that she's a pawn. I don't know why people like being pawns or are okay with it, but Avery was cool with it, very much so.
I was very up and down about Avery. Like going in, I thought Avery was going to be like this masterful, like beast of a player. Erica Hill vibes. I thought I was giving Erica. Very much not Erica at all. But her social game, I think, is really, really great. Like I said earlier, like I feel like after Victoria and Anthony, it would have to be her or a Kayla because she's one of the people who has a relationship with almost everyone in the game. And then she's also connected with Anthony and Victoria, who, arguably is at the top of the game. So I just feel like she has a lot of good qualities. And my fear with Avery is that it's just like, it's going. Like, I remember I texted Pharaoh that she reminds me of Joseph in BB24. I think Joseph had so many good qualities about his game, but he was never managing the threat level. He would expose so much information just in casual conversation with people who he thought, well, these are my allies, they won't care. And I'm like, I see Avery doing the exact same thing. Like in a lot of conversations, she's just spilling tea. to the point where, like, earlier in the week, she was kind of seen as, oh, she may be a snitch. She may talk too much. She may be all over the place. I think that narrative kind of went away, but I can see it coming back up because Avery, like I said, is always going. And I feel like if she ever does become a threat, will she be able to, manage that? And I don't know. I don't see that for Avery right now.
Yes, I agree. And just to go a little more into like where she's at in the game, because she does have a lot of stuff going on. And it's interesting because she was one of the first people to go to Victoria and kind of include Anthony in that, and the fact that she wants to work with both of the returnees. She kind of mentioned that. And we see her also be a part of the girls' core four. So she has a bond with Janine, she has a bond with Bayleigh, and then, of course, with Spicy V. Very close bonds with kind of all of them. When Janine and her were nominated, we saw Bayleigh say, girl, I got your back, you're staying. So a lot of the girls prefer Avery to stay over Janine. And Avery has a connection to Dinis. They had made this deal, this agreement, especially back when Janine was saying all the girls need to link up with a boy. Avery mentioned that she might have a good deal with Dinis because he came to her about them both being LGBT. He wanted to work on that. So she has connections with a lot of different groups and facets for it to be so early and for her to be a nominee. So she does have a lot going on. So it's interesting to see where she goes with that. And the new thing that's building with her, Anthony, Victoria, Kayla, and Lexus is the hot chocolates.
The hot chocolates! I'm living for the names, bitch. The cookout, the brown sugar babes, the hot chocolates.
Period.
You would say so
I said bye-bye, bitches. Was that like also a thing?
Yeah,
it was a thing, but it wasn't all black.
I would have paid money to be with somebody like Felicia. That's what they should have brought us.
Oh my God, that's literally. So, well, not literally. So, the hot chocolates are starting to form. It's all the black people, period. And that's another connection that Avery is gaining because it's so interesting, Avery's position, because at first, like I said, she had Bayleigh, she had Janine, but now she has connections with Lexus and Kayla through this new group. So now Lexus, Kayla, Avery, and Victoria, the four of them kind of talked about how the four girls are going to sit together. And of course, we have Anthony because he's also black. They said that this is a big, and we saw this on the episode. They said that this cause is a little bit bigger than the girls' cause. So at the end of the day, we rocking with the niggas. Thank you. Period. So
I do think if they definitely go to the end with this, one of those four girls are winning this season.
I agree. It's like they have the advantage. It would have to be a situation where, and we already kind of see that there is some turmoil because Kayla and Avery aren't feeling Lexus that much. They're getting a little nervous, paranoid. Bayleigh and Donna are spreading to the rest of the girls that Lexus is with Anthony and Todd. Anthony and Matthew, my bad. Anthony, Matthew, and Tola a lot, and they feel nervous about that, and they're like, what is she doing? And I was telling Lee this off the podcast. Why don't people know how bad bitches move? When you're a baddie, you can do what you want. When you're a baddie, you can do what you want, but still have your own mind. And I think a lot of people get confused because maybe they wouldn't have their own mind. I think a lot of people, if they're hanging out with someone, that's who they're loyal to. That's who they're going to rock with. That's who they're with. So when people see Lexus hanging with some of the guys, they're like, oh my God, she's probably loyal to them because they just sit up under each other all day. Bayleigh don't do nothing but talk to Donna and Janine all day. And then it's confused as to why people are grouping her with those people. But that's all you talk to. Bayleigh talks to the people she's most loyal to. People have called her out for talking to Todd because that's who she's loyal to. Vivek because that's who she's loyal to. Donna because that's who she's loyal to. And Janine because that's who she's loyal to. So they're assuming because Lexus is talking to these boys, she's loyal to these boys, but it's like, no, baby, that's you. You're loyal to the people you talk to. And I think the issue that a lot of people have is understanding personality types. There's people like Lexus in this world. Lexus is, I guess, a little bit similar to Taylor Hell in the sense that they're going to do what the fuck they want, but they still have their own mind. I can talk to Joseph or Anthony and not be 100% loyal to them over the girls. Lexus, I feel like, definitely is still going to choose the girls over any of the guys. But because they're kind of, in a way, already having this mindset about her, they're probably going to start pushing her away, or they're probably not going to talk to her as much, or they're not going to trust her as much. And it's like stuff like that is what causes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're feeling this about Lexus, so now you're going to not talk to her. I don't think Bayleigh or Donna are going to tell Lexus no information, like no more. And it's like
Donna already said she's not,
and Donna's already said she's not. And it's like, you think she's not going to notice that? And then of course she's going to be like, well, shit, I can't work with Bayleigh, I can't work with Donna, Avery and Kayla acting different. Who the fuck I'm working with? So it's like, y'all. I just think it's a personality type thing, and a part of this game is figuring out who's what kind of personality and moving accordingly.
Yeah, I agree. Somebody put a comment in there saying Lexus gives Santina energy, and they literally hit the nail on the head because I kid you not, there's just some people that just be doing them. Like it has nothing to do with you. And it's like a lot of the people in the house, it's like, okay, she's not with us, then she with everybody else. No, she's with nobody. She's living her best life. Like Lexus in her bio said that she likes going out and having a good time. Like it's not even about friendship and all of that for her. Like homegirl's just trying to kick it. You know what I mean?
Right. Santina was such a great comparison. It's just like a baddie energy. It's like a personality type. Everyone has personality types, and I feel like you can categorize sometimes. And I feel like there's just the type of girl who just does her own thing.
Exactly.
Very nonchalant, not and it's like in the mix.
I get it because I get it in a way because at the beginning Santina was working with the boys, but it was the next week where Santina was saying "fuck those boys" and she didn't work with them the entire game since.
She wasn't working with anybody. She was working with herself. It was just like, I'm gonna do what I want. Wake up when it's lunch, and that's the crazy part because people are all running around saying, "Oh my god, like is she not like us?" No, she's not thinking about you. She's thinking about the next salad she's gonna eat.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's literally what it is, though. And I do think it's really good that they're doing this hot chocolates thing because I do feel like Lexus would have got like the full on quote unquote Taylor Hill energy from the girls, and that didn't happen because they're all kind of saying this except Spicy V. That's the thing. The girls were saying Spicy V because she took out Latoya was going to be the main one against Lexus. And I will say, I think the first Digital Daily, Spicy V did mention that her and Lexus aren't really seeing eye to eye. She had to check with her. But I think as the week went along, for me, I think when I see with Victoria, I feel like her allegiance is mainly to the hot chocolates. Like she wants to make sure those girls are on the same page because she went and told Lexus all of this shit. She told Lexus that Donna and Bayleigh have been talking shit. So keep aware of that. But she also defended Kayla and Avery in that conversation because Kayla and Avery have been saying the same shit. But she's telling Lexus, like, hey, well, the black girls, they're not really worried about it. But it's Donna and then Bayleigh watches them. So I feel like Victoria is going to be the one to keep them on code and keep this, chucking along. I like that. Period, Victoria. That's all I want. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Let me compliment her and say she's doing good work.
Yeah, she is. This is a great alliance for her. This is the alliance for her because Anthony is her number one on one side, and then the girls are all a little bit more loyal to her. I feel, except Lexus. Lexus has been closer to Anthony, but I think Lexus is just gonna go with the girls. If y'all just say go with the girls, she's gonna just go with the girls. So that puts Victoria in the best position within the Hot Chocolates Alliance. So that should be what she's wanting to go. And it's not so good for Anthony. Honestly, this shouldn't be what Anthony wants because I feel like it is easily to just get to the final five with 4 girls and a boy and just be like, he can go. And that's why Anthony has been saying to a lot of the girls in the alliance, yeah, this is cute or whatever. We also need some more Braun. Let's add Matthew. Right. So Anthony has been pitching to add Matthew to this group. So we have the Hot Chocolates, and then we're going to have another group with all of us and Matthew to add some Braun. And I think for Anthony to win the game, he'd probably be best sitting next to Matthew. He will probably have the best shot, especially in this woman-heavy game. I feel like there's a lot of great women players that are going to come from this season. And if you're sitting next to a woman, it's just easy to vote for a woman. So I feel like for Anthony to win, his best chance is against Matthew. And he's trying to push, let's bring Matthew along. But it's like, then what you going to do? But he could just be like, Matthew, you might need to take out Lexus, oops, or something like that. And it's like, I guess I can see that, but I don't know how he's going to navigate going to the end with all of these girls. That's going to be interesting.
In general, though, Anthony and Victoria is going to get really interesting once they start having to cut people because that's kind of the issue with there not being any solidified group and them kind of just being good with everyone. Because if you are to win, then you start pissing people off and you have people unsure of their position because there is no solidified group. So it's like, at some point, Victoria, you're going to have to go after a girl. Anthony, you're going to have to go after a guy or one of the black people. It's like, so how are you going to be able to, I don't know, I guess handle that once it comes up?
Very interesting. So all of that is forming. Janine is the target. Avery is the pawn. Once the nominees go through, they all agreed that Janine just can't win veto. Hopefully, no one wins veto and uses it. They play. Dinis wins, and he doesn't use it. Me personally, I'm not a fan of him not using it because I feel like you should wield any power you can get in this game. But I can understand, I guess, his hesitation to use.
He shouldn't have won. If he did not want to use it to leverage, there's no reason to win. He had no. The thing is about Dinis, like, other than the. Oh, hello?
You here?
I thought I was breaking up. So, like, the thing about Dinis is that, like, other than the issue with him not having a group, he also just doesn't have, I feel like, any, like, real connections in the game right now. So winning this veto, all you're showing people is you can win competitions, which isn't a good thing if you're not part of my group. Like, you're not in anyone's full-on group. So I don't know why he thought winning a veto this week. And he basically said he just wanted to do it. Like, the fan in him wanted it. And the fans knew it was going to get you sent the fuck home. Because people are going to remember that Dinis can win competitions, you know? And that's going to be a problem moving forward. And then to win it and not use it is just like, so you're going to just leave Anthony in this decent position that he's in socially? Like, you could have made this so much harder on him. I mean, literally, he has Avery, one of the nominees, telling him, don't use it because I don't want Anthony to have to make a difficult decision. First of all, clock that. Why is Avery telling you to leave her on the block?
Right? Okay, lawyer.
So Anthony doesn't have to make a hard decision. Let Anthony make a hard-ass motherfucking decision, because if he used that veto, even on Avery, it didn't have to be Janine, Kayla, Tola, Todd, or Matt has to go up. And he has to piss another person off and fuck up his long-term game. Him not using veto, allowing these nominations to stay, nothing messes up for Anthony. Next week, he can kind of fix those issues with Bayleigh, and potentially Vivek and Todd, and keep it moving. But if he had to nominate Tola or nominate a Todd, like, it would have been an entirely different game.
Exactly. I personally don't really ever understand not using the veto for the most part, unless you the damn HOH, because it's always a way for you to gain an ally. Like you said, Dinis doesn't really have any strong allies. If he would have used the veto on Janine, he's a strong ally. And I feel like a fear that people have is, I'll be the next target. But personally, if you're not in an alliance as is, you already are an upcoming target, baby. You don't have any allies. 1. 2, how are you going to be the next target and you're vetoing the main target? Now Janine is still here. She still has to go. So you're still good. So I feel like it's honestly a lot of the time good to use the veto. If he would have used the veto on Janine and then maybe made an alliance with her and laid low after that, or just didn't do much, because coming off the end of this week, the next upcoming targets are Bayleigh and Vivek. So if he would have used the veto on Janine, it would have had to go Janine, Bayleigh, and Vivek before Dinis. And Dinis has all those people who probably would work together with him. That could be a whole alliance against Anthony's coalition. There is so much that you could have done with having the power of veto, and he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he fumbled.
And he could have thrown it to Janine. Janine got second. So, and if you didn't want to do that yourself so obviously, you could have threw it and then been like, Janine, wink, wink, bitch. And then grouped with her. So it's like, you didn't even do that. You just wanted preventing Janine from winning it. Now she's going home, somebody who could have been working against Anthony. She got second in the veto. She did really good in the first competition. She could have won HOH and took out somebody who was probably going to take your ass. So I don't.
No, that's wild.
Cute. I was trying to be nice, but Lee, you're right.
No, I agree with you both. Like, I can't believe he broke his back to win that veto and not use it. Like, why? What is the reason? And you barely have any allies too. You could even take your homegirl that tried to start a over 40 alliance off the block. Like, I think people are delusional. They think in their heads that they're really that guy and they're gonna last really long. But you need to be realistic with yourself, right? Like, if you don't have any allies, if you don't have people that you're working with, like, why don't just shake up the game anyways? It's like, who cares? You don't know what's gonna happen next week. There might be a twist, like, you know what I mean? Who's the veto man? Oh, exactly. That would be disappointing, especially considering the fact that he said he wanted to be a villain before he came in. Just keep letting us down. Just keep disappointing us.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to play for Canada? Play for Canada and use the veto, baby. You think Canada didn't want you to use the veto? Like, I don't know.
They used the veto every single week last year, and he broke the streak. He should just continue that.
Yeah. Child. So the final nominees are Janine and Avery. Janine is going home.
I didn't even clock this. Tito just said it. Dinis was safe this week too.
Yeah, couldn't even be nommed.
Oh please, Dinis! You had no business winning that competition.
You did not need to win. You did not need to win, baby. You could have let Janine have it, baby. And then Anthony would have had to most likely nominate Tola. And it's like, now Tola can go home. Somebody who Dinis has said, by the way, a boy needs to go home. You could have got a boy out this week, baby. If you would have just let Janine have the veto. He wasn't thinking. So Dinis, look, and right so far, we've been talking mostly about Anthony and Victoria. I promise you, it's not because we just want to. We do. But that's not why. Nobody else doing nothing. It's very minuscule other things going on. Dinis ain't doing nothing for real. Elijah's literally not doing anything at all. The only other person that's doing stuff is like Vivek. And we'll get into that right now, actually. We can get into that too. Because, as we said earlier, the Boys Alliance was forming. Vivek was kind of getting close to Todd. And we quickly saw Vivek kind of mark his territory on Anthony, is how I say it. Because randomly, I want to say on the third day, Vivek and Anthony are talking, and Vivek is like, by the way, a lot of people targeting you. You know, you got to clean that up. And it's like, not clean that up. He didn't say it like that. But he was like, a lot of people are targeting you, and, you know, you just got, you know, we got to just make sure we're doing good and that you got this. And Anthony was like, who are you talking to like that? Like, I got this thing. But I think Vivek is very much so like, Anthony, you better watch it, low key. He was like trying to summon him a little bit because we see Vivek pulling Todd in a towards his way. Vivek and Todd are very close. And then we find out that Vivek has something going on with Bayleigh and Donna. Because Vivek and Bayleigh Vivek and Anthony had a discussion first. And in the discussion, Vivek is telling Anthony how people are assuming he's in a group of boys with Matthew, Tola, and Todd. He's giving him this information. And then as soon as they're done talking, Vivek goes and talks to Bayleigh. And when he talks to Bayleigh, Anthony clocked that he was talking to Bayleigh. He clocked him running straight to Bayleigh, and then he watched them on the HOH camera have their entire game conversation.
That was so crazy.
So he watched their entire game conversation between Vivek and Bayleigh. And kudos to Vivek, because Vivek is, like I said, one of the only other people who's doing something outside of the returnees and kind of like the Black people. Vivek is actually working on Bayleigh, working on Donna, and working on Todd. And we see later on that they're talking about forming a group with them. And we also see that they were talking to Dinis a little bit about being in a group as well. So this could have been an entire, I guess, side against Anthony, especially if Dinis would have let Janine win the veto, because Janine would have been a part of it too. But let me calm down. So this whole group of people is kind of forming in a way. So Vivek and Bayleigh get caught. Anthony brings Bayleigh to the HOH room immediately because him and Bayleigh had a bond. And like Lee said earlier, Anthony and Bayleigh had a conversation where they were kind of going back and forth. Anthony wasn't handling it smoothly. We kind of talked about that conversation already. Basically, Anthony was like, I just saw you all talking. What was y'all talking about? Bayleigh was like, well, I'm not sure about you. And he's like, if you're not sure about me, you can come to me and tell me. So they were just kind of hashing out their allegiance, their bond. After that, Anthony has started spreading Vivek. He's not to be trusted. Yeah. He's spreading a lot of lies. He's spreading a lot of things. Meanwhile, Vivek is telling Donna, we got to watch out because Anthony's looking at us. Anthony's looking at you and Bayleigh, and they're watching the screen, so we need to be careful. So while Anthony is spreading a bunch of stuff about Vivek needing to go, Vivek is really just saying, okay, guys, let's be careful. And that's his issue. You're saying, let's be careful, and Anthony's saying, you got to go.
Like, if you're going to start this like going against Anthony, you kind of should have went all in on it, because now you caught and now it's too late. And and what Anthony is able to do, because he kind of has the leg up in this situation, he's able to spread to some of his allies about what Vivek is doing, and it's kind of sticking. And like specifically with like Kayla, she kind of got caught in a situation where Bayleigh was repeating that something that Vivek said, and Kayla was the one who said it. And Kayla was basically like, yeah, I told Vivek that on purpose and see if he would run it back, and he ran it right back to you. Now, I don't know if Kayla actually was planting the seed or she just got caught the fuck up. But in general, that's something for Kayla and Avery and them to be like, Vivek is kind of shady. So there are people in the game kind of like, I would say like the hot chocolate is probably Matthew is going after Vivek because that's kind of who Anthony is spreading it to. And you have other people like, I feel like Donna and Bayleigh, if teams stay the same, they can't go after Vivek. But even if they break up, I don't think they would necessarily go after him. But that's kind of what he's trying to get out there. Vivek in general is just a really interesting player, though, because I do feel like he kind of got caught up with some of the actions that he's doing. Like, it is kind of like when he was talking to Anthony and kind of giving him advice, like, oh, watch out because these people are looking out for you. Like, I can see how Anthony took that a certain way, but I feel like Vivek does that in a lot of conversations. Like, I saw him talk to, like, Todd, or, like, even when he's consoling Janine, he talks as if he has so much knowledge of this game and, like, he's played before and, like, I can give you all of this advice. And I do think it comes off as, like, genuine, but, like, to someone like Anthony, who should be suspicious because you are talking shit, it's not going to come off that well. And Anthony kind of clocked that, like, when Vivek says certain things like, oh, these people are talking about you, but he doesn't say a name, that's just Vivek saying it. And he kind of does that in such an obvious way. Like, there was a conversation with Bayleigh where he even said, yeah, these girls are talking about you. And she was like, who? He was like, I can't say. But you know what? It's not even, like, multiple girls. It's just one. But he still wouldn't say a name. Like, you can't share information like that. If you're not going to tell me who said it, then keep it on the playground.
Yeah, I think the idea behind what he's trying to achieve is cute. And I think it's really cool that he's trying to, go against Anthony just because everybody's like, yeah, but he's failing in the delivery of his plan. You know what I mean? He needs to be planting seeds like the way Anthony is, going to other people, just spreading lies and misinformation and chaos. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying to bring it to Anthony, like you said, he tried to sun him. You're not supposed to go for the head of the snake. Like, go sprinkle some buttercrumbs on the other side of the house. Like, he needs to work smarter, not harder. And he's doing a lot, but it's entertaining. He's just poking holes in his own head.
What he's doing is rookie mistakes. And I will say, if this was an all newbie cast, I think Vivek would be in a really good position. He would be kind of doing really better. But you're in the cast with baby Anthony. This is Anthony Douglas. You're not in, and even Spicy V is like has his ass clocked. Like, you in the cast with vets, babe. So you're not going to be able to. Honestly, it sucks and it's unfortunate, but this goes for any newbie playing with veterans. You can't make no mistakes because you're going to lose.
Especially if you want to go against them.
You need to play a damn near perfect game. And the only person who I feel like has come to that in a season with vets is like maybe Paul from Big Brother 18. He didn't make, after the first week when he tried to come for the vets, he didn't make a mistake ever after that, and he still lost. So you can't make any mistakes, period, because it's very, very difficult to win in a season when there is veterans in the game. It's just really, really hard. Didn't somebody beat a veteran though? Josh beat Paul, but that was because Paul was making so many mistakes as a veteran. So unless the vets start fucking up real bad, but honestly, it's really unlikely. But overall, y'all, that's most of the week. And going into next week, it's looking like Vivek is becoming the target for Anthony, and it's looking like Vivek and Bayleigh are trying to look towards Anthony's side as targets. Bayleigh even mentioned that she wants to just straight up nom Anthony and Tola. But even in that scenario, Tola might go home. But there is a lot of kind of sides in this game so far. But really, it's just Bayleigh and Vivek. Bayleigh and Vivek are people who might target someone on Anthony's side. But even Vivek wants to target Tola. He doesn't want to target Anthony. Bayleigh's the only one who's ever said she wants to target Anthony. And then on the flip side, most people are going after Vivek and then maybe Bayleigh, because Anthony has been telling a lot of people, we can't trust Vivek. We can't trust Bayleigh. Lee, was there anything else this week you wanted to talk about so far?
No, I thought we hit everything.
We did. We hit a lot. So overall, to put it into layman's terms, the Black people are working together. Anthony, Victoria, Kayla, Avery, Lexus. That's the most solidified thing. They have a name. It's called the Hot Chocolates. And they're planning on getting to the end of the game together. It seems like all of them are really mostly in on this alliance. Everyone else is kind of scattered about. Some of the boys are with some of the boys, some of the girls are with some of the girls, and Vivek and Bayleigh are kind of the next two targets for this power group. That's kind of the overall thing. But honestly, we can head into these player ratings and just rate the players, honestly. Now, thank you guys for tuning in so far. If you're on Twitter, go ahead and go to YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, watch us on YouTube. That would be very helpful. If you're already watching on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe to the video. That would be very helpful. Thank you, Bookies. And let's get into these player ratings.
Oh, I get to rate too? I thought I was just
No, you get to rate. You get to do everything. You're going to do it all. You're going to do it all. But we can get through it. So, now, do y'all want to start with the King, Anthony, or do you want to leave Anthony for last and start with Vivek? That's the question. Let's start with Vivek, and we're going to save the King for last. All right. Let me get off of him. All right.
The King. Girl, please.
Calling him the King is crazy. Vivek. Okay, Lee, I think you should start with Vivek. How are you feeling about Vivek's game, 1 to 10? Oh, Amal, we do 1 through 10. You can do 0.5 if you want. 1.5. Oh, we could do 0 as well. 0.
Based off of how much I like them or how well I think they're playing?
Honestly, you could do both. But usually it's how they're playing. Sometimes if I don't like them, they get a notch down. If I like them, they get a notch up. But how you feel like they're playing so far? It's only been 1 week, so we don't got a lot. But we got a little. Yeah.
I feel like Vivek, he definitely started off the game pretty decent. Like, he had a good understanding of the game, and I feel like he had a good understanding of where he was at. But, basically, once I feel like he decided in his mind that he wanted to go against Anthony, is where it went downhill, because, like we just spoke about, like, he just did not do it in a way that was very savvy or clean. I think that he's a player that's great at making these individual connections, to where, like, people like Bayleigh and Donna, even though they're getting told all of this negative information about him, they're still trusting him and still wanting to work with him. Like, he's one of the only boys other than Anthony that is making relationships with the girls. And like you said, I do feel like if this was a season without an Anthony in it, he would be doing better. But I just feel like, because he's with Anthony and Anthony is so full on against him, it's really bringing him down lower for me. In general, though, I still feel like as like just an overall big brother player, I think that he has potential, because it's only been 1 week, so I can't say he is great. But I think he has the potential to be great. I just feel like I fear we'll never see it, because Anthony is definitely coming for that ass. And that's unfortunate, but based off of, like, literally, if he wasn't on Anthony's team, is he on Anthony's team?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, he's not.
No, he's not.
Vivek is on
he's on Anthony's team.
Oh, he is? Oh, I was looking at the bottom. Is our draft at the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if Vivek wasn't on Anthony's team, he would probably get backdoored this week. Like, that's a very high possibility that could have happened. Like, so I'm gonna go with a 4. I would be higher, but it's just the fact that he's such a huge target moving forward, and it's hard to think if Anthony wants him out that he won't go at some point within these next few weeks.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel the same way. That I feel like he's a really good player, and I feel like he could have been a powerful player in a newbie season, like I said earlier. But in this scenario, I just think he's going against, a veteran, and it's going to be hard for him to get out of that. And because he's the better, honestly, the reason he's targeted is because he's the best player. Anthony basically admitted anybody who I can't manipulate, anybody who I feel like is a threat to my game has to go. So honestly, Anthony is targeting the person who is the biggest threat to his game. And I genuinely think Vivek is the biggest threat to his game. And that's why he's a target. So you're basically a target for being that girl. So I feel like I can't go so low on him, because even Anthony knows he's a good player. And that's why he's targeting him. And I just think he is. He does have a bond with Bayleigh and Donna, to the fact that they're able to talk negatively about Anthony. And it's like, I've never seen someone have people on their side against a veteran in a game before. When it's a veteran in the game, usually people are going to side with the veteran. It's very rare where someone can come in and have people against that veteran. And Bayleigh is against Anthony. She is. And it's because she's more loyal to Vivek. And Donna is more loyal to Vivek, and Todd seems more loyal to Vivek. It's like all these people more loyal to someone than the veteran. It's like, that's impressive. Like, I don't really see that. And there's a chance that Vivek doesn't even go next week. If the team stay intact and someone on his team wins, he can be safe automatically. If he wins HOH, he can't go home. Or if Bayleigh or Donna or Todd win HOH, they might not be able to be convinced to take him out. They might just take out a Tola. And it's like, that would be impressive as well. But it's like, he has numbers. He has people. He might not just go. I'm going to give him the 4 because you're targeted by Anthony. Like, ooh. But if he can stay and he can shake this target, then he can go up. But he can also just go home next week. Ma, how you feeling?
I feel the same way as both of you. Like, I'm gonna go ahead though and give him a 5 just for trying. You know, good for you.
I love that.
Not working. I'm gonna give you a pass.
I like that because honestly, we need people like you, Mom, because there are so many people in this game who ain't doing nothing. So Vivek, honestly, he gets props for trying for real.
Yeah, it's not working, but hey, kudos to you, Vivek.
Literally. All right, how you feeling about Victoria, Amal?
I'm feeling pretty good about her. If she didn't tell Anthony about the girls' alliance, I would have been happier. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go ahead and give her a 6. Okay. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason. That's just where I'm at.
I feel you. And it's early. I'm always scared to give like high ratings or low ratings when it's so early. Lee, how you feeling?
I think I'm gonna shake the table. Ooh. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was like the people coming into this season. I wasn't necessarily a stan of Spicy V and BB Can 9. She took out Latoya. I love Latoya, and she took out Austin. I love Austin. So it's safe to say when Beth took her ass out, I wasn't that mad. No shade, but coming into the season, I was just like, okay, what is she gonna give? Like, I truly, when I said I think she can be the next coming of Icon Wong, I felt that. Like, I genuinely saw it for the position. And the position that she's in is the exact same position that I thought she would be. Like, Anthony's the bigger target. She's able to kind of just be more reserved. Everyone wants to trust with her. Like, she's someone that is getting protected by the guys that Anthony is talking to and all of the girls. Like, she is one of the most protected people in the game right now. And when it comes to, like, sharing information, I don't like that. I feel like she's sharing so much of her game with Anthony, but at the same time, when it comes to like separate private conversations she's having with the girls, Spicy B is not protecting Anthony. When Bayleigh and them are dragging Anthony, she sits there to be like, yeah, I mean, I don't know why he would do that. I don't understand it. I don't know what he got going on. So it's like, it's not like she's, I feel like, putting her game on the line for him in front of her allies, whereas I feel like Anthony, a lot of the times when the guys are asking about Spicy, he's like, yeah, Spicy's good. You can trust her. You can work with her. So I just feel like she's in a really, really good position. And she literally just does not turn Spicy. She could win this game. I truly feel like she would be able to do so because she's like this mirror, which could go downhill. But when I say she's this mirror, it's like when she's talking to different people, she just mirrors them. She says exactly what they're saying, and they actually believe it. Like, I ain't gonna lie, from the outside looking in, I'm like, girl, she's obviously faking it, but they be eating it the fuck up, especially these girls. But like, my biggest fear is that, like I said earlier, is she gonna fuck her position up by throwing away her allies to work with Anthony? Similar to what I kept saying about Helena and BB Can 10. It's like, okay, girl, you're working with Kevin. He's this great player, but you can still win this if you keep your people. It's all about keeping your people. So I just want her to do that moving forward. But girl, it's an 8.
That's fair.
I think she played this week great. I do. And I think that she will continue to play this week great. Like, I think unless a few HOHs fuck it up to where randomly all the girls are out and people left in the game is Todd, Matt, and Elijah, it get real random, then okay, maybe it can start getting a little weird. But even then, I don't think she would be the high priority threat at all.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with the 8. I'm pretty, oh, I done gave myself an 8. Good, because I agree. I'm pretty high on Victoria. I think she is playing really, really good. But I think the gameplay she's playing is good for the first week or the earlier weeks. I think she's going to have to switch it up a tad once we get more to, okay, girl, I get you're just saying yes, 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 yes in my conversations, and you're just saying what I'm saying. You got to give me something. because she's not giving a lot at all. And what I guess worry about is she's improving and she's learning from her first game. So she's playing in this new way. But what I'm worried about is, are you thinking that the way you're playing this week 1 is the way you should play the entire game? Because I don't necessarily think it is. I think eventually people are going to realize you're not saying anything, and I'm over it. Or they're going to realize you clearly are actually working with Anthony. Right now, yes, all the girls are being silly and they're not realizing it. But or the other girls, because black girls now. But it's like, I feel like very quickly they're going to be like, okay, wait a minute. It's week 2, it's week 3, and Anthony still knows everything I'm telling him. And Janine's not here, and Tola's not here anymore. So I think it could catch up to her, but I don't know. It also couldn't. We never really know. Big Brother Canada is a very like up and down type of game. Anything can really happen anytime. So I think I'm gonna just stick with the 8 and see where it goes. I'm liking her game though. I really am.
Yeah, your numbers are better than mine. I just feel like I couldn't go that high, you know? But it makes sense.
We used to do the same thing. When we first started rating, we would be like, okay, you get a 6, you're playing good. Or you get a 4, you're not playing that good. We wouldn't go fluctuate. So don't even worry about it.
And we still sometimes she's probably the highest score tonight. That's for sure.
Hands out here for no reason.
Okay, next we have Tola. Now, y'all, I like Tola for a lot of reasons. I think he's cute. But when it comes to the game, it's a no for me. It's a big no for me. And it's a buzzer. Because this man, he'll walk up to somebody. He'll walk up to a random girl that he doesn't talk any game with. He'll walk up to Amal and he'll say, Amal, so how are you feeling about, Anthony? Who are your closest 3 allies? And it's like, Tola, please, sir, you can't be doing that. And I think it's just he doesn't really have a good awareness of the game. I feel like sometimes he's surprised when he's told he's targeted, and it's like, you're surprised you don't talk to anybody. Anyway. So I feel like he's just not really fully aware of the game, what's going on, how to play it, how to move. Maybe he needs to find his footing. I don't know. But he's not doing good so far. And a lot of people wanted to target him this week. He damn near got lucky a little bit that, because Anthony being a vet, he knows not to make the rookie mistake of targeting the person everyone's targeting. And he's leaving Tola as this buffer before targeting Anthony, and it's gonna probably work because Vivek already said, I'm probably gonna target Tola instead of Anthony, and Bayleigh said, I'm gonna Tola next to Anthony, and Tola will go home. So it's like, Anthony being smart enough is so rare. A lot of the times, if this was a newbie cast, the first HOH, you would have went home. Tola could be gone instead of Janine, honestly. And it's kind of luck that he isn't, or just, it's convenient that he isn't, but he could just go home next week because the way he's playing isn't that good. A lot of people will target him. A lot of the girls will. I feel like a lot of the girls feel obligated to target a boy, but also just want to target a boy. And because of that, if any girl wins HOH, they'll probably target Tola. And that's not good for him. I guess if the teams say that won't necessarily happen. And even 2, maybe 3 of the boys will target Tola too. Vivek said he'll target Tola. Dennis wants to target a boy, and the biggest boy target is Tola. And we don't know what Elijah will do. So you could be targeted by all the girls and half the boys, and Anthony can't play HOH. The only person who might not target him is himself and Matthew. Good luck. So it's not looking good, and he's not doing much to help his game. He doesn't have any real allegiances except just Anthony. He's not even in the group with Anthony and all of the note. It's just Anthony. So I have to give him. Oh, I didn't think I would go this low today. I think I'm gonna give him a 2. I think I am. Amal, how you feeling?
That's so crazy because I was really gonna be like 10s for him, but
you still can.
No, because honestly, like as a gamer, like I think what he's doing is absolutely chaotic. But from an entertainment perspective, his level of delusion is endearing. Like, yes. You really think, just like Pharaoh said, you really think you can walk up to people and be like, "Tell me all your secrets," and they're just gonna stop you. Like, buy me dinner first. What? So yeah, I was gonna give him a high number. I'm gonna knock it down a couple notches. I'm gonna give him a 7 just because I really like him. Like, I love the fact that he said he looked like Usher is the funniest thing. Like, delusion. I love it.
I like him a lot too. He's someone I want to see. I would be interested to see what are you going to do with HOH, or like what happens if you make it 2-3 rounds. But also he could go.
With HOH, he's going to make people book appointments, and then he's going to usher them into the room and ask them questions. That's what he's going to do.
It's going to be hilarious.
Staring at the TV while they're talking, just in case he's going to miss something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would definitely have HOH. Like, it would be bad. I definitely agree with a lot of the negatives that's being said, because there aren't many positives, no shade. I mean, like, I just remember the conversation I saw him have with Janine, where she's like, "Oh, let's do the older person alliance," and he's like, "But don't you have a girls alliance?" Like, what? Yeah. Say yes, just say yes. So he is just—it's honestly crazy, because when he got added onto the cast, and I read his bio and watched his video, I thought they would be way more savvy and self-aware than this.
The opposite, literally. I literally thought it would be the opposite.
Any of that. And him, someone else, where it's like, if he was available to be targeted, he would have been out of here. Well, he was available, it's just, the whole volunteer thing. But if Vito were to be used, he was next. And he could potentially be next. Like, even though Vivek is growing this target, I do think he could end up falling on Tola. So, I mean, I'll go with the 2 as well.
Not the 2.
When he gets evicted, he's gonna tell Arissa, "I don't think I did anything wrong." T.
Literally. He don't know nothing.
Sir.
Next is Todd.
He's not gonna be so confused.
Right?
Ooh, let's get to this one real quick.
Lee, how you feel about Todd?
I mean, like, similar to Tola, he's just not doing much. And he's one of the few guys where it's like, you're not really in the whatever, I guess you can call it, a core of the guys thing. And he also doesn't have a separate real group, because, like, even though, he has this conversation with Vivek and they kind of have an understanding, Vivek is telling Bayleigh a little bit later, like, I don't know if I want to work with Todd because he talks too damn much. And Anthony's walking around saying Todd is talking a lot, he's spilling too much tea. It's like, how are you not doing anything and still people are seeing you negatively? Like, I don't like, he's literally just there and people still have shit to say. Like, that's so bad. I like that he had enough understanding to where he's like, okay, yes, Vivek, let's make this group, let's grab 2 girls. I like that understanding, but it's like, we don't really see much work else past that. And even he is claiming that he's playing up the dumb thing as part of his strategy. It's like, how long is it just strategy or is it just true? Like, no shade. Like, I don't know. I don't know where Todd is going to take it, especially in this cast, because I do think a lot of people are just levels above him when it comes to gameplay, which isn't even a stretch, because he said himself he was not a fan and he really didn't have a strategy. He had to go back and watch, and he kind of came up. Well, he realized that he had to make alliances, which is definitely a Big Brother 101. So at least he knows that. But overall, I mean, he's just not in the game. I don't really see him as an actual player. I'm gonna say it's a 3.
Child, I agree with the 3. Everything you said, I do, like you said, I like the understanding he has, and I do like his positioning a little bit better than someone like Tola, because he won't get targeted as fast as Tola. Just second as fast. I feel like after Tola, he'll be the target. But I also like that he does have this thing going on with Vivek and Donna and Bayleigh. Like, he's trying to create this thing with them, and I do like that understanding. That's something that could do something for him, but it's just so ABC basic level understanding of the game. And it's like, baby, we're on season 12. You can't do the ABCs no more. We're in Z, X, Y, Z, please. Amal, how you feeling?
I don't even know who that is. I'm just kidding.
Literally, though. Literally.
Honestly, I thought he was gonna be like a mix between John Party, maybe. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart.
Jonathan from last season.
Yeah, he was on my season and I forgot his name. Sorry, John. You see,
you don't know who Todd is. You forgot.
Right, but like, Jonathan was the nice dad, and like John Party was like the bro, just cracking open a cold one. What is Todd doing?
Not even that.
Oh my goodness gracious. I wish him the best of luck. I do need subtitles when he does speak. I'm so rude.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give him a solid 4 because I talked a lot of crap. Sorry.
I love it. I love it. You're definitely skewing. So you're the nice curve.
Period.
Nice. If I was a teacher, everybody in my class would pass.
Period. This is
a great teacher.
Love you as a teacher.
Except for Todd.
Damn.
Amal said no child left behind. Period.
Matthew, someone else who I don't know who it is, and I will say that might be a negative of the digital dailies because live feeds we wouldn't have with live feeds we wouldn't have a choice but to at least know something about Matthew, Todd, Elijah. Honestly, Dinis, we don't really get to see much until he won the veto, and then it really wasn't a lot of game conversations. Like so many people we didn't get to see. I remember last season, Daniel C. He was apparently eating it up, and we didn't even know until the 7th Digital Daily, like the 7th week of Digital Daily. So it's like that's the downfall because Matthew. I mean, I just don't know much. I know that he's close with Anthony. And a lot of the girls were talking about potentially targeting him or Tola or Todd, like either one of them. I think he started rubbing the girls a little bit better recent digital dailies because recently they've said his name less. They kind of mentioned how he's nice and stuff like that. But other than that, he's just up under Anthony. Anthony wants to bring him in his crew with his black girlies. And that's could be really, really good for him. Because if you get in the crew of the literal majority of Lions, that could be good. But is that any of his work? No. Is he doing any other work other than that? No. Is he doing anything other than sucking and being up under Anthony? No. And I mean, that's also a strategy. I'm not going to knock that strategy. If I was in the season and there was a returnee, I would just sit up under them all day. Avery's kind of doing it. So I wouldn't say that's not a good strategy. It's just not enough for me. So I think it's better than Todd, better than Tola, worse than Vivek. 3.5. Amal, how you feeling?
He's just whatever. He's just there. Nice guy, good looking guy.
Nice muscles,
pretty boy,
beautiful gowns.
Yeah, pretty boy, I guess. I'm gonna give him a 2 because honestly, I'm just not rooting for him. I don't like people that just do as they're told. I'd rather somebody just completely disagree with me and be like, yeah, no. I'd give them a higher score. That's why it's like somebody like Tola every single week just breaking his back while Matthew's just out here working for the lieutenant. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Period. And that's basically what he's going to do the entire time. And I'm kind of disappointed. I picked him first in my draft. I thought that he was going to be a good player. I just thought that he would have some game sense, but he doesn't at all. Like his game sense is to tell Anthony, I'm loyal to you. I want to go somewhere with you. Please take me to the end. And
with something, sorry.
He's Samoan.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why they.
Fiji and Samoan, something like that.
All right, shout outs to him.
Yeah, so technically, he part of the hot chocolate too. Technically, he just, I guess, white chocolate. But it's just like you said, like he's in that group, and it's not because of his own work. Because him, like a lot of these guys are not talking to any of the girls on the level to where they feel comfortable with him. If he is running through the group, the black girls are going to protect him because Anthony is begging them to. So that's really unfortunate. It's very also kind of like just one track minded. It's like in the beginning, he's like, all the guys are together, we're going after the girls. And then Anthony is kind of like dropping some seeds, and he's immediately like, yep, that's what we're going to do now. I will say another reason why I picked him in my draft is because I did think he was going to go far, and I still think Matthew will go far. If it kind of stays this division, quote unquote, between girl versus boy, I can see him being nominated, but there are just way too many other targets in front of him at this point. So I'll go with the 4 based off of positioning, but I ain't gonna go higher than that if he don't get himself in the game. And I just don't see it. I don't see it for him. I don't see it for Todd. I don't see it for Tola. I actually see it for Dinis and Elijah, we will get to, but like not anytime soon.
He's giving Shawn Mendes energy, but he's never gonna be Justin Bieber. You know what I mean?
And that's the T on that. Next we have
so cute.
Next we have Mother Lexus. Amal, how you feeling about Mother?
Oh, that's a 10 right there. You know why? You know why? Because everybody wants to hate on her, but let me tell you something. As a confident woman, I can look a beautiful woman in the face and say, you are the baddest, and not feel away. And she deserves all her flowers. I think that there's just nothing wrong with her. It's just perfection across.
I agree. I agree.
Lee,
how you feeling?
Across the board.
Yeah, like I don't even have social media, but she's the type of person where every time I see her picture, I'm double tapping that. Are you dumb?
Period.
I mean, period. And you know what? I'm glad you gave her her 10s. I'm glad you gave her her 10s because I don't think I can, child.
Oh Lord.
It's okay. I'll give her the 10s. You know why? Because we have like that sisterhood that she doesn't even know. I'm just rooting for her telepathically. Mm-hmm. But you can
that's exactly what Ozza did when Ozza came on for Big Brother 20 whatever 4. She was like, literally, she was like, I mean, that's my sister. Like, I'm gonna give her a high score. I like him. I like her. So I'm here for it. Period. Lee, how you feeling though? Because you said you can't.
Yeah, no, I really like Lexus. I do, but it's just like, I guess I can coin it Taylor Hell curse. Like, when you're just a bad bitch that minds your business, people get scared. And like, whether or not it's a relevant fear at all, it's just not important right now. Like, the girls are having so many conversations about, when we get to top 7, Lexus is the first girl to go. Y'all not making top 7.
There's one going home this week. You mean top 6? 2. And then when the other one goes home, you mean top 5? And then when the next one goes home, you mean final 2? Like, please.
Yep. She's giving the same energy that Kuzi's giving. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in and say that. Like, just beautiful for no reason. You know, like respect it. Yes.
Period. And that's my train of thought.
Sorry. Just
no, it's okay. It's okay. No, so I just feel like the issue is that she's now starting to get people looking at her sideways. I don't think any of the girls are going to necessarily target her, but if they keep bringing this up, it'll become an issue later on. Like someone like Donna, who's like one of the big ones pushing it. I can see Donna being in the house for a while, and it's like if she gets an HOH, who may go up? It could be Alexis, you know? Even like Kayla and Avery feel some type of way about it, which I don't think is an immediate issue, but it can become one later on. And I just feel like Lexus isn't the type of player to change how she's playing. Like, Lexus is going to continue to be Lexus, who she is, and you're going to like it or you're going to get over it, you know? And I love that diversity is a thing because earlier this week, you know, Spicy V and Anthony was talking, and Spicy V was mentioning how at first she didn't really, you know, vibe with Lexus, but over time I really got it. Like, I really understand who she is. And Anthony was like, yeah, like she's just a black bougie girl from Toronto. Like, that's who she is. And I mean,
SDK, she just likes going out with her friends, like
and minding her business and being a bad bitch. And it's like they were able to understand that because they're probably used to that personality. Like when I'm seeing black women on TV, I'm always confused by their ostracized, and I'm never like, I never see it because I meet black women who act like how they act on TV all the time. So no personality I usually from a black woman is like shocking to me. Like I've met someone who acts just like that in my life. So it's good that she has a group like the Hot Chocolates who can protect her, because if she didn't have that, she probably would be public enemy number 1 in this house, and she isn't right now. But in general, like I said, I can see these things that people are bringing up becoming an issue later on. And if for any reason the Hot Chocolates isn't in game, or they just can't get to in game, I can see her going pre-jury or early in jury, which is an issue. But even then, if she were to get to the end with the Hot Chocolates, is she just 5th, you know? So I like Lexus. It's just I'm not seeing the winning path. It is just week 1. She easily Taylor Hill this motherfucking shit. I didn't see it for Taylor either. I didn't see it for Taylor until like motherfucking top 5. And I was like, wait, my bitch can actually do it. So I'm going to hold out hope for Lexus. But in general, right now, because of all of the negative things that are being thrown on her name,
they're just so jealous. Why you got to be jealous for?
Literally.
I think, I don't know.
You know?
I think I'll go with the 5. I'll go with the 5. I was thinking between 4.5 or 5, but I'm just go with the 5.
Good. She better pass.
I agree with the 5. I definitely agree with the 5. I feel like, first of all, in the beginning of this week, we saw her beast in that competition. In Big Brother Canada, being able to win comps is, in Big Brother in general, being able to win comps is very big. That's why Taylor was able to get the win, because she won the final 4 veto very clutch, HOH very clutch, because the girls was going to vote her ass out. The person who won that veto said she was going to vote her out that week or something like that. Was it her? I don't remember. But anyways, she won that comp. Lexus can win comps. I feel like that's going to be very good for her. And she's in the alliance that's probably going to be the majority alliance. I think she might be at the bottom of it, but being a part of the majority alliance is just good in general. Actually, I'm going to give her the 5.5 because I think that's really, really big, especially because I know none of the girls are going to target her soon. They all have said they're not going to target her. They said they're going to target her at 7. They said 7, but Janine's going home. So that really means 6, which means she has a 6-person alliance who probably won't ever target her. They probably will, but they probably won't target her soon. And then she has the 5-person alliance who probably won't target her until then. And it's like she's one of the only people who have that. There's only a few people in the game who have that kind of protection. So even though people don't like her socially, she's protected strategically. And I really do like that about her. I feel like within her alliance, she does have a really close bond with Anthony and Spicy V, honestly. The way that Spicy V was protecting her and then Spicy V went and told her all that information, it makes me feel like Spicy V does prioritize Lexus. And I like that. Also, everyone's saying she's really close to Anthony, Tola, and Matthew. Baby, that's half the boys. So I feel like she's protected on the boy side, she's protected on the girl side, and she's protected within her alliance, at least with Spicy V. Girl, I'm gonna give her a 6. Hold on.
Yeah, because that's why everybody.
hold on. Because I really like her position, even though people don't like her. The reality of her position is good. It's just people just don't like her, and it's kind of like, I mean, you don't like her all the time, all you want. She's in your alliance. Actually, all of your alliances. Thank you. So I'm not for her. I think she's gonna make it deep. I think she's gonna make it deep in the game. Next is Zendaya. Now,
Zendaya is crazy. Shut up.
It's Kayla, if people don't know. Kayla and Zendaya are interchangeable. So Kayla is my girl, for sure. That's my mama. I love her game. She's like one of my favorite players at this moment because she plays in like a very subtle way. I think what was interesting to me is we found out very early on that she had this duo thing with Donna. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. Her and Donna had went to Anthony about making some type of thing. Her and Donna had been going around, like her and Donna had a thing with Spicy V. They made an alliance called V's Angels. So she had a lot of things going on with Donna and then with Spicy V. And we saw a lot of the girls connect with her early on as well. At first, they were talking about bringing her in on the little four-person girls alliance thing. They just didn't end up doing it. And the hot chocolates ended up forming. And a lot of that was Kayla's push because very early on, Anthony and Victoria were like, I guess, trying to figure out which direction they were going to go. And initially they said, we're going to make an alliance with, I want to say it was Matthew, Vivek, us two, and Avery, and maybe Kayla. It was like a totally different situation. And when Kayla started saying a lot of the times, I'm here for us and we the group. And I remember Kayla and Anthony had a conversation. And in the conversation, Kayla said, yeah, when I mentioned in that group of us talking that I'm here for our kind, that's what I was talking about. And that was one of the first conversations about them all working together that we saw on the Digital Dailies. So I feel like this was the alliance that Kayla wanted the most, and she pushed it, and it's working. So it's like, not only is this alliance forming, it's kind of Kayla's doing in a way. Like she did a lot of that effort to make sure this is what everybody was on. And this is what we're at now. And I really like that for her. I think within the alliance, she has a great bond with Avery. She has a good bond with Spicy V and a good bond with Anthony. Anthony tells her a lot of the details that he tells her a lot of stuff more than he tells Lexus from what we've seen. So I feel like she has a good positioning within this. And she's good with the girls. The girls don't want to talk to her. They want to talk to Lexus maybe. So it's like she's good with the girls too. She's good with the people in the hot chocolates. So I like her positioning so far. I think she's doing great. I think socially, no one says anything negative about her. Usually it's positive. So I like a lot of the things she's doing. I think she has a good footing in the game. She can probably go really far. Only questionable moment was her questioning Lexus, seriously, when she was just talking to Avery and Victoria. I'm like, girl, not you really actually questioning this. And that made me think a little bit differently about her. It doesn't seem like something that's serious or will actually go anywhere. But the fact that she even questioned it, it made me think, okay, where's your strategy, babe? Are you just going to just tell Anthony and Victoria everything? Well, wait a minute. So I'm going to hold off on the high score, but I'm going to give her the 7.
Ooh.
And move it along. I'll give her the 7. Amal, how you feeling? Because you said, ooh.
No, I like the 7. I think it's a great number. The higher, the better. Zendaya and Big Lex are my top 2.
Oh, that's true.
That's the galdom. I'm rooting for them every day of the week. And I'm gonna give her a 9 just because I like Lexus more.
Period.
I hope they both stay though, so they can share outfits and clothes. They need to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yes, they need to get together. Like, make this a duo. Bad bitches can't go against each other.
They cannot. And Kayla is giving a leader that's willing to bend for the people, but Lexus is giving, I don't give a fuck, I'm a bulldoze you. So it's just 2 different personalities. We love to see it.
I see that. Lee, how you feeling?
I think at least, you know, she's not going to do anything drastic to actually like cut her out of it. Kind of like backpedaling, but jumping on what you said about the actually questioning Lexus thing. She said to Avery at the end of the last Digital Daily that she kind of wants to approach Anthony and want him to basically be honest about if there are any other groups. Like, she's like seriously thinking that Lexus may be in some other group with Anthony, Matt, and I hope that doesn't get her any hot water. But basically, I think that at some point, Anthony and maybe even Victoria will get, you know, a little intimidated by Kayla, because I do think that she kind of just has this like winner energy. She's clearly very intelligent. I think she will be eventually good at competitions, and I think that she's also self-aware. Like, she's always thinking, which is why she's even overthinking the Lexus thing, because I think she's always thinking about her position and the alliances that she has around her. I think I'm gonna go with the. I think I'm gonna do the 6.5 with Kayla. I would be higher, but like I do feel iffy about her questioning Lexus, because I feel like, I don't know, like that's such an obvious thing for her. Like, she should be worried about, focused on other things. Like, she doesn't really have a relationship with Vivek. She was starting one, but she kind of, you know, is letting that go because she feels like he's a snake now. And then she has no relationship with Todd or Tola. She has a relationship with Dinis. I think he will protect her, but like it's not anything solidified. And same like basically most of the men. And I will say a lot of these men are also not socializing at all. But I just feel like with her being such like a potentially powerful force in the game, she will be someone easy to go after, especially like, okay, I don't want to go after Victoria or Anthony. Kayla's right there. I can see Kayla being like that third, like, okay, she's a bigger threat. And I'm just hoping that she's able to navigate that moving forward. Like, at the end of the day, all of them in this brown sugar babes, in this hot chocolate alliance, they're going to need to be wary of going too far with Victoria and Anthony if they want to win. I don't think any of them can sit next to them right now and win this game. So I do hope that she's kind of solidifying other groups outside of what this hot chocolate thing is, and I think she'll be good.
All right. Next is Janine. She's going home. Amal, how you feel about Janine, child?
She thought she was the shit, but she's not even a fart.
That's my God.
Not you using her line against her.
Oh my God.
You can't be quoting Ice Spice and going out first. Like, come on. I'll give Janine a 5 though, just because, you know what, I kind of liked like her outfits and like, you know, the way that she's acting and the fact that she's trying. Like, she's not just laying over and dying, you know. So some positive points for her. But see you later, alligator. I guess she's about to hit the door.
Lee, how you feel about Janine?
Yeah, no, I really did like Janine. I think that she impressed me more than I thought. I didn't think that she would be this, I feel like, game oriented. I like that she, you know, had the idea of, I want to create this group. I want to create subsections within this group. Like, I think she was talking a really big game. Like, to the fact that like, she was one of the main people being like, oh, at top 6 and top 5, we'll do this, we'll do that. But I think, like we kind of expressed earlier, that is a lot of what got her in trouble. She was moving, but she wasn't checking off all of her boxes. Like, the fact that you were not speaking to the HOH at all, he was even able to use that as an excuse to put you up. It's crazy, and it's because that was something that she neglected. It sucks because, you know, that first target, it's like, once you're the first target, like, you know, there's not much you can do. Like, once that target is on you, it's hard to get it off, especially with Anthony in this situation, because he's not a malleable type of player. Like, it's very much, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I did do. And there was like that once she became Anthony's target, there wasn't really much she could do to fix that. And that's very unfortunate. But we see this trend of like if we go to Canada a lot, like the older woman will go home or just a woman in general will go home first. And it sucks that she kind of just fell into like the line of that as well. But overall, I don't think that she's a bad player. I think she's better than some of these guys here who's doing nothing. So I'll give her a 3.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like she is a pretty good player. Or she did better things than a lot of the other people in the game. I think with her, it's kind of just like wrong situation, bad luck a little bit, because the way she was playing the game, it probably would have worked in a different season where there was more going on. Even just last season, I feel like last season there was a lot going on. If she was doing a lot in a season where other people were doing a lot, I don't think it would have fared as badly as this season, where I guess Anthony just wanted to play slow like molasses and not a lot's going on. So I feel like she just got caught up, because even the excuse he's using that 3 people snitched on her, 3 people did not snitch on her. It was just Spicy V. And Spicy V only said it was Janine doing it because Janine was talking the most, barely, you know? And it's like, it's just so minuscule things. And then also she didn't talk to him at all. So it's like, okay. But it's like, you tweak a few things, she probably wouldn't even go home. Also, Tola was the bigger house target. It was just so happened Anthony won. It's like, I feel like there's a situation where she could have been in a better place or just had a better cast or a better situation. She almost won the veto. So a lot of things that it's just like, dang, Janine got bad luck.
Yeah.
I'm wishing her a great 2024, because damn. I'm going to give her a 3 as well, though. Child.
She's a nice lady. She just on the wrong show. She should have went on that Next Up where they all the moss come together and beat people's faces.
Period. Wait, because what she do? She does hair, right?
No, she's a makeup artist.
Oh, she does makeup. Love that.
Yeah, so she should have went on that type of show.
Would have ate it up there. I think she can give like, well, she was being really sweet and nice too. She should have got a little messy. I would have loved that. Next is literally who? Elijah. We don't know. Well, I don't know anything about him. Couldn't tell you anything other than the fact that his nickname is Goose. Within the game, I don't know. People say he's cool, but no one's really working with him. I don't see him in any alliances. He's not with the boys. He's not with the girls. He's not with the blacks. He ain't even with the whites. I don't know where he's at. So with Elijah, I really have nothing, but having nothing means, where are you at? Like, does that mean you're not talking game? And then another thing is, I'm not sure, because we don't have live feeds, I'm not sure if he is having like one-on-one, quick little tidbits, and we just haven't seen it because they haven't fit him in the digital dailies. But because I haven't seen it, I'm gonna assume you ain't doing shit. And if you ain't doing shit, that's not good. I do feel like because he's not targeted, and a lot of people say he's someone who we don't have to worry about, he's going to make it deep in this game, because there's going to be so many other people who have to go. And this is the season of targets, I feel. This is a season of, you're going to become a target, you're going to go, especially the way Anthony's running it. Or even on the other side, people might say that about Anthony or people on Anthony's side. So it's like, because of that, I think Elijah can make it to the end of this game. And we know he's a super fan. So I have my eye on him. But because I don't know anything, not anything negative, not anything positive, and I think he can make it deep in the game. I don't want to give him a 5 because I don't know if you're doing anything, but I'll give him a 4.5. No, I'll give him a 4. 0.5 was crazy. How y'all feeling?
I mean, honestly, I'm fine with the 5. I do think it would be different if because the thing is, this house is, I mean, any people in the house, they're going to talk shit. No one is saying anything negative. And I mean, you know, when Arissa said we're getting juicier and longer digital daily, she meant that shit, okay? Because they've been about 3 hours. And I just feel like, yes, we're not getting everything, but I know, like, we've heard at least hearsay about other people. And I think Elijah and Dinis are the 2 least we've heard about, but we've heard some negative things about Dinis. We haven't heard anything even negative about Goose, which I think is more of a good thing in a cast like this, because I think he just won't be touched, which is really great, because so much shit is going to be happening with Anthony orchestrating over here. And then, you know, Bayleigh, she's a loud personality. Vivek is doing what he's doing. There's so much going on that, like, if he is playing this Kevin Jacobs type strategy, which is basically what he outlined preseason, this is a perfect start for him. Like, the negative for Kevin, he came in, he was nominated first week. He had to work from the bottom of the house. This man is essentially just in the center of it. And he just now has to surround the house around him. And it's like, will he be able to do that work? I don't know. But it is just week one. I think out of everyone here, I do see a lot of promise for Elijah because I just know he's a super fan. I know that he had all of these thought out strategies. And it's like, I don't see a crash and burn. I think he's kind of just waiting. But at some point, if he doesn't strike or if he can't strike because he waited too long, then of course the number's going to fall and he's never going to get the opportunity. But I do think the chance is there for sure.
I agree. Amal, how you feeling?
I'm with Pharaoh on this one. I don't really know much about him. I think he's a nice guy. Shout outs to his charisma, I guess. He's the token giggler of the season. I guess, yeah, he just giggling is a compliment, I guess.
That's terrifying me.
Yeah, his laugh is definitely the only thing that's stuck. I am going to give him a 5.
Period.
Because I really don't like geese. I think that geese are just horrible animals, and I don't know why they're calling him goose. Like, it's traumatizing. Like, the geese here in Canada are scary. Like, they're not cute.
Why do they call him goose?
I was going to say, did you get attacked by?
We have the live feeds. Maybe I would know, but let me not.
Exactly. Like, I tried to search up like why did they call him goose, but there was nothing on the internet. Like, so.
Mm-hmm. Lee, how you feeling about Donna?
Donna, I think definitely in the start of this week, I was like, Donna is in a really, really good position because she had that duo with Kayla. She was kind of in this sort of situationship, flirtmance kind of with Anthony. I think that is still kind of going on. And then she also has the girls thing. And she's someone who I think, similar to Janine and Bayleigh, is really all in on the girls. Like, a lot of her major strategic talks about how they can get far and how, you know, who's the first to go and all these other things, you know. But she also has these side situations. Like, Todd really enjoys her. Vivek wants to work with her and protect her. And I don't see any of the outliers like a Goose or a Dinis going after her, or even anyone throwing out that she should be nominated, even as a pawn, which is really good. It's just, I don't know, like, she's not going to go through the blockade of the Black Alliance. She's not going to be able to fix that. You know what I mean? Like, if she's able to keep Vivek and Todd in longer and keep them as targets, hopefully they can win and maybe take out some of those numbers. Donna would be in a way better position because she can play two sides of it. But there is no two sides. There is only one side. And she believes it's only, you know, a girl's thing that everyone's loyal to. And there's the whole Hot Chocolates Alliance. So a few things will need to happen. I will say her pushing Lexus is actually a good thing, because if she can break up that Hot Chocolates in some way, that's good for her. If Lexus is out, she can kind of slide in and be at 5th chocolate. So I don't know. But it's just like, she's not thinking on that level either. And I also just don't know. It's kind of similar. I mean, to a lot of people who play this game, like, I don't know how she's going to be able to manage a threat level if she does get targeted. But I also don't necessarily see Donna getting targeted. So, you know, I don't really know where she's going to go from here. I think she's a pretty self-aware person. I think she's kind of smart in this game. I didn't expect her to be as game-oriented in the game as much as she is, which is what I do like about the Girls Alliance. It automatically put all the girls in the game. I think they're all playing a step ahead than most of the men here because of that initial group. So I'll give her the 5.
Period. Amal, how you feeling?
I like the name Donna. She's a nice girl. I like her little sound bites. I mean, I'm an artist. She's an artist. That's cute. I don't think she's gonna last long. Yeah, I already think that. I think this is my hunch, but I think the reason why she's all like Lexus this, Lexus that is because whatever flirtmance Anthony and her have going on, it's giving real love over in Big Lex's department. So Donna needs to relax. And I'll give her a 6 because I think that she's doing good. And if she continues to prove herself, she doesn't have to prove it to me. But just keep up the good work, Donna.
Period. They in the chat saying they call him Goose because of his laugh. Is that how gooses sound?
Yeah, that made sense. It clicked after I saw the comment. Yeah. Now it makes me happier that I gave him a 5 now, not just because I don't like geese.
Donna, I'm pleasantly surprised by Donna because I didn't think she was going to do anything, but like Lee said, she's in the game, and I like that she's in the game. And she did a lot of early on building connections. People in the house said she's very social. We saw her build a connection very quickly with Anthony, very quickly with Kayla, very quickly with Spicy V. And initially, she was going to be in this group that they were thinking of. They wanted to maybe include her. They weren't sure. They didn't really make the group. And I love all of that. Like, I feel like in a multiverse, there would just be an alliance and Donna would just be in it. But in this season, it's just panning out so interestingly to the fact that they've barely even made a group. It's like so vague, and it's at the end of the week. It's been 2 weeks already. So it's just very situational. But Donna's someone who I feel like could have been in an amazing position, but now she's kind of just in an okay position, barely because of the way it happened. But it's interesting because I feel like if Donna was like a level ahead as a player, like one step ahead as a player or a returnee, she would have just made the alliance, or she would have just told Anthony, I like you, I like Spicy V, I like Kayla, maybe we should do something. Just saying that could have sparked it and could have made it happen. And I feel like because she's new to the game, she's a newbie, and she said she was a fan, but I don't know. I never really know with people. She could just be someone who just played really well. But I still like the way she played, and I feel like she's still playing good. It's just kind of situational that she's not in an amazing position. But in BB Canada, things can change. And Donna is the one person that if this game changes, I feel like could end up out on top or in a good position. Well, her and Elijah. I feel like if this game shifts or changes or anything happens where you can wiggle your way in, Donna could wiggle her way in, especially in the position she's in now. So I'm going to give her a 5 as well. And we'll see how it goes. Next is Dinis. He wasn't in nothing. People was looking at him very early on. And that was scary. They kind of stopped looking at him. And then he won the veto. But now there's so many other targets, I feel like he's done good at, honestly, diminishing his threat level, surprisingly. Because very early on, I was like, dang. Are you going to be able to not be a threat no more? And because he, I guess, opposite to Janine, he's doing subtle things because he's someone who he's not invisible like Todd or Matthew. He's not. He's on there sometimes. He's had one-on-ones with Spicy V. He's had one-on-ones with Avery. So he's had these conversations about the game, but it's not in an overbearing way like Janine, and he isn't seen as a target anymore because of it. So I do like all of that. Don't like what he did with the veto. Don't like that he doesn't have any allies. Really none. Really zero. He's kind of just in a limbo position like Eliza. Like, you're just here. There's a lot of stuff going on, and you're really just here. You have nobody for real. But the girls prioritize him a little bit. The girl says, I mean, the boys can go, but not Dinis. And Dinis is targeting boys well, so that's good. So he has options or potential to do something, but I think the game would have to shift according to where it's going towards right now. And then he can do something, or maybe he just needs to stay longer, but I'm not sure. I think he might just become a target after 2 people leave. It's like somebody else got to go. And Dinis, you want to be down. Right. So I'm not feeling great, but I'm feeling better than some of these other boys. I'm going to give him a 3.5. I'm going to give him a 3.5. Lee, how you feeling?
Yeah, I do think that he's way more game savvy than a lot of the other men in the game right now. It's just that his position is not that good, really. Like you said, like in the few 1 or 2 more rounds, I do think his name is going to come up because his name already did come up, and he doesn't have too many people protecting him. Like, some of his closer allegiances right now is Vivek, Bayleigh, 2 of the biggest targets in the game. Mm-hmm. So you really have no type of safety. So I think once his name does come back up, he'd have to win out. And that's not really plausible at all. So I think I am going to just go with the 4 with Dinis. Like, right now, he's not in too bad of a position. But I feel like with him not being able to get a solidified group, have solidified safety, unless this game shifts, he will just eventually go home sooner rather than later.
I agree. Amal, how you feeling?
Before I vote, I have a serious question. Did the veto have any type of prize?
No, it was just a puzzle little thingy, but he was safe. He was safe this week because he was on Anthony's team, and Janine was in second. So those are the
all right. That's all I needed to make my decision at 2.5.
Yeah, because what was you
honestly? The moment he said, "I'm Dennis with a small eye," pack it up.
That was cute. But yeah, baby, I don't
And
know.
then honestly, like I don't think he's a bad guy. I just feel like he wants to be there so badly that it's affecting the way that he's playing the game.
I think so too. He said before the season he was gonna that was gonna happen.
Yeah, like I want to. Like he said, he wants to play a narcissist. Like who says that out loud? Like stop. You know, like he needs to
I know
get
some
the
people.
game.
Bayleigh is next, Amal. How do you feel about Bayleigh?
Bayleigh and that fuck ass Bob.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I have to say, in the beginning, when the videos came out and everybody was like, "Oh my god, we really like her," no, I don't like her because I feel like she's one of those people that's like when she's talking to you one-on-one, she's like, "I'm with you, I'm for you," and then as soon as you leave, she's like, "Fuck that guy, let's vote him out," you know. And she's a nice girl. I mean, I don't know her personally, right? But as a game player, like I wouldn't be mad if she left. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give her a 3. Just because I wanted to give Dennis a 3, but the veto thing made me give him a 2.5, and she doesn't deserve a passing grade this week. I'm so sorry.
Honestly, I think I might give her the 3 as well. Let me talk it out though, because initially I liked what Bayleigh was doing. She wasn't in like she was in like a good position in the sense that she wasn't at the forefront of anything at first. And she wasn't left out of anything either. She was kind of in the middle. She had the girls, and then she was building relationships within the girls with the 4 that made and all of that. When Janine started getting targeted, she started getting grouped with Janine. That wasn't bad. And then she got caught up doing side deals with Vivek. I love the side deals. That was a great thing for her to try to build something with Vivek, Todd, and Donna. Perfect. That would have been a great sub-alliance, and I think that's smart. But it got caught up. And now Vivek and her are becoming the 2 main targets. And now she's telling Spicy V she's ready to target Anthony. You telling Spicy V, the one person Anthony knew before the game, that you're targeting Anthony. Please, baby. Like, she might go home next week if that gets back to him. Like, it might be her instead of Vivek. Vivek don't even want to target Anthony. You want to target Tola. You want to target Anthony? Who are you? What do you think? So that very much so made me feel way less about it. She seems a little one-track minded. I was fearing that when we got the cast videos, because she said a lot of comments like, I'm stubborn. I'm just gonna do what I want. I'm not really gonna think about all of that. And it's like that energy made me think, okay, if she comes in here acting like that, that's not gonna work. And it's seeming like she might end up towards that path, especially now that she's getting left out of the game a little bit. So I'm gonna give her the 3 right now. Honestly, I kind of think I should go lower, but I'm gonna give it a 3 because she did do a lot of good other things. It's just it didn't fall in the way she needed it to fall. Lee, how you feel?
Yeah, I think I'll go with the 4 with Bayleigh. I feel like her game is definitely in danger. I just think it's up in the air whether it will be her, Vivek, or Tola. And I also do like that Bayleigh, she does have this girl group, and I feel like none of them, if they were to win, would nominate Bayleigh. The issue is I feel like any guy who wins could easily just target Bayleigh, and she would go home. And that's the issue. I think also, like you said, her straightforward gameplay, she's also just very kind of abrasive and out in the open with how she's thinking. Like, she had a conversation with Victoria in even today's Digital Daily. She's like, yeah, like, the girls, we just have to keep winning. We just have to keep winning. Like, I don't care if I win HOH and nominate Tola and Tola stays and wins. Like, he can put me up, and guess what? We're just going to win veto and send someone else home. And it's like, girl, no. If you're already talking about we have to just win in week 1, that is a problem. So I do think that her time in this game will be short.
I agree. Next we have Avery. Avery is a very interesting one because I feel like at first her personality seemed kind of abrasive. People were saying that she is probably going to go around snitching. She was going around snitching, but she was snitching to the right people because she was snitching to Spicy V and Anthony, and they brought her in their little circle. Anthony used her as a pawn, and I feel like that's what Avery is. Avery is our little pawn. Thank you. And it's like, she's happy to be that. She's a happy little pawn. And I feel like that's actually really, really good in terms of positioning and how deep you can go in the game. It reminds me of, I kind of have been calling it the Christmas archetype, because Christmas on BB, she's a loyal soldier. She will work with her group, and she's going to make sure she uses that HOH to take out the two people who is the biggest threat to the group. I don't care if they my best friend. If Avery wins HOH, mind you, she has a 4 with Bayleigh. She has this really close bond with Bayleigh. Her and Bayleigh talk often. If she wins HOH and Anthony say Bayleigh is the biggest threat to the group, she's taking out Bayleigh. Not a question asked. She's taking Bayleigh right the fuck out immediately. And that is, honestly, it's good in the terms of it's going to get you very, very far in this game. But it's bad because you are never going to win this game, baby. You are never going to win this game. You are never going to win this game. And I fear it's very early. It's week 1, but we got 2 weeks worth of digital dailies. And within these 2 weeks, it's given that's what her game is going to be. And because she's already upon week 1 because of this gameplay, I'm feeling like I can already rate her on it. You're literally a pawn because of it, and you were happy to be a pawn. You told someone not to use the veto on you. You and Dinis had a bond. Maybe Dinis could have used it on you because y'all had this bond. Y'all have this little sub-alliance, and you told him don't. So it's like, baby, you're doing a lot of stuff. But she has a lot of connections. She is in the core alliance. She's probably in the core of the core alliance, and she's probably going to make it very far. So it's like, girl, you giving me whiplash. I'm gonna give her a 5 because of the whiplash. You right in the middle. Thank you. Lee, how you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, she literally proved this week by basically volunteering when he asked to be a pawn of how she's willing to lay down her game for them. And like, it sucks. I feel like she's so fanned out by being with Victoria and Spicy that she's never going to use her social relationships to go against them. And she has great social relationships. I think she has the possibility to have better social relationships than them. But she's just not the type of player that's going to use that to work against who she needs to work against, because she is with them. And like I said with Kayla, like at some point, they're not going to be able to go to the end with them. But I don't think Avery is looking at anything but that, because they've said it. Like, this is bigger than the game, basically. It's, it's understandable, but it's like, if you want to win, you can't go to the end with them, especially just letting them make whatever decisions they want, because I do think Avery kind of switched up to what she was thinking based off of what they're kind of leading her towards. And that's unfortunate, but I agree with the 5, but I do think she's going to be here for a while.
Amal, how you feeling?
Avery, she gave very much I volunteer for tribute.
Yes.
But the problem is Candace volunteered for her sister, and you don't know these people, so she needs to relax. She seems like a fun person. She has connections with everybody. The one thing that got me though was the cry that her and Victoria did when she got nominated. They didn't have to plan out the synchronized cry. They were doing a little bit too much, and for that, I will give her the same score as her bestie, Victoria, and that's a 6.
Period.
You play the same, you get the same.
Last but not least, Amal, how are you feeling about Anthony Douglas?
I'm not gonna lie, Anthony can do no wrong in my books. This Anthony season, Anthony and others, I think he's a really I think he just, I don't know, I just think he's a cool guy. Like, keep doing what you're doing. I'm an emotional person. So that segment with Buck and then Dane coming, that got me.
Like, that was cute. That
got me, because I remember in season 7 when he said like, "Oh, I'm leaving my mom behind, and like my boys are gonna like watch after her." So I know how close he is with his friends. So I'm rooting for him in that sense, where I feel like the win will do a lot for him as a person. I can't give him the same score as Big Lex and Zendaya because I'm for the Black women, so I'm gonna give him an 8, even though I think he deserves.
Right, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I love that. Oh, babes.
Oh Lord, what's going on? This is getting.
Pharaoh, what's happening?
Too much. What's happening, y'all? Hold on, let me restart.
No worries. Yeah, we'll just keep it up.
I'm gonna give him an 8.
I'm just gonna give him an 8 just because I can't give him the same score as the girls. And then on top of that too, like, yeah, he's playing that whole I'm gonna finesse them and make them do what I want type of game, and it's working for him so far. Like the people that are questioning him are not doing too well cleaning up their own act. You know what I mean? Like there's Vivek who is pushing against him, but like what's Vivek doing? Is he building an army? Is he planting?
He's trying to.
Yeah, like it's like everybody doesn't have the sauce. Like I agree with Anthony in that sense. Like he's taking the sauce that God gave him and he's using it for the game. And I just hope that as the episodes progress, we get to know other people more because we already know what he's capable of. I'm just worried that it would be like kind of a season 7 tease where it's like, hey, you from the Pretty Boys, go talk to that guy. Then this guy runs to, come on, like use your brain.
I agree. I feel like my main thing with Anthony is I'm scared. Kind of his like right now where the game is going towards, it could end up in him maybe even getting second place again. If you're sitting next to Spicy V, there's a lot of people who I feel like prefer Spicy V at this moment. I like his gameplay. I like where he's going, but he's already kind of becoming a target for people. Bayleigh already is looking at you crazy because you've won this HOH. Vivek is clocking that you're a powerful player, and it's mainly because you won this HOH. Very powerful players, you don't need these HOHs. Go ahead and just be powerful in the behind the scenes. So I think he can still finesse his way to the end of this game. I think he can finesse his way out of this sticky position. But right now, you're in a really good position on some turns, but also you're getting looked at already week 1. And getting looked at week 1 already, it's like it could be an uphill battle for you. So I like what he's doing. I think he's a really smart player, and he's clearly probably the savviest player in the house. I feel like him planting these seeds to get Vivek out and it working so easily. It's like he's the only one planting seeds. He's the only one making people targets. He's created 2 targets, Vivek and a little bit Bayleigh, just by saying their names. When he was saying Dinis's name, Dinis was a target. When he started saying Janine, Janine became a target. So it's like he's very good at planting seeds and making them spread. And we see it firsthand, and I really, really like all that, and I think that can continue on. But I'm just scared about the people already looking at him already. So I'm not gonna give him the 8. I'm gonna give him a 7. And that's it actually. Lee, how you feeling?
Sorry, Lee, before you rate him, I just wanted to add, I think something that's throwing Anthony off is the TV in the HOH room. Because you don't need to see everybody running around like little mice. You know what I mean? But that's just it. Like he needs to stick to what he knows and not the nonsense. Carry on. The floor.
I do think that is getting to him a little bit, which is good that he won't be HOH next week. Hopefully he doesn't win a few moving forward, because I know there was another situation with Dinis in the HOH Carol. He was like, he caught Dinis in the HOH room watching a room that Anthony was in. So like he definitely, I won't say it's paranoid, but I think he kind of overthinks a lot sometimes. Like he kind of goes deep into it when it's not that deep at all. But I think that's probably why he's so good at this game. He's miles ahead of everyone in it, and like you can just see it in his social game. Like that's why I think even with the mistakes he made, I think he will be able to bounce back, because like you said, before he was confirmed as HOH, everyone loved him, and whoever wins, I don't think they're necessarily touching him. Well, Bayleigh said she would nominate him, but Bayleigh doesn't necessarily want him to go home, and he won't go home next to Tola. So it's like that is a risk for him, but it's not even a full-on risk. Like when she was saying it, it wasn't like I am doing this. She was kind of just speaking. But I can even see him being able to change her mind. Like I just think that he showed throughout this week that like he has to have a God level social game. I feel like I just noticed in like a lot of the conversations that he's having with people, like it's like randomly just deep as fuck for no reason. Like I can definitely see why people feel like they're so connected to him. And I feel like once he's out of the HOH room, he'll be able to bounce back and he'll be able to kind of plant his seeds in private like he usually does. Because of these mistakes, though, and like I think I don't like that he didn't really solidify a group. I don't like that he really didn't solidify much with the guys either. Because I do think Victoria has that one up on him. I'm going to say it's a 7.5.
Period. Let me put them in order. This is really interesting, especially with Amal's rating. Every time we get like a third person's point of view, I feel like we get a lot of good ratings, to be honest, because usually
it's fun. I've never rated anybody before. So giving RuPaul's they at the last episode they rated each other. That's what it's giving.
Not they rated each other. Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, it was giving
that they had to like give themselves a rating to see who was going to go in or something.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the order. Oh, this is the order because of Amal. I was like, hold on, because we was giving Victoria high. But no, Anthony's at the top, tied with Kayla, amazing. And Victoria's third, Lexus is fourth, Avery's fifth. So the top 5 is the Hot Chocolate Alliance. And then we have Donna, Elijah, Vivek. Janine is over all these flops. I know that's right. I'm loving this. This is T. This is T. Good ass rate. If you want to see it, go look at the YouTube because we have it on the screen. Here.
Look at all the melanin in a row, just at the top 5.
I love that.
Love to see it, and it's accurate. No shade.
No, it is.
It should be.
Period. Thank you, Theodore. Theodore said, thank you for the recap and player rating. Especially happy to see them all in these recaps now. Theodore sees anything, so I'm tuned in for this season. Love y'all. Thank you. Love you too.
Yeah, thank you. I read all your comments.
Thank you, Theodore.
Thank you, Theodore. And thank you, Amal, for joining us. It was a pleasure. It was amazing.
Thank you. Honestly, it's you guys are more fun than watching the show. So
you're sick. Oh my God.
Thank you, though. It was great. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you've been tuning in, go to YouTube at The Reality Kingdom. Go ahead and subscribe to us, like our videos, whatever you need to do. We're also going to be covering Survivor. We go live every Wednesday after the episode, so tune into that. We'll be here the entire BB Can season, and we're going to be covering The Amazing Race. So tune in or whatever. And thank you for keeping it real with the Kingdom. Baby, we out.
We're out.